and your life as the priority. Not being nice. Not trying to be, to make everybody happy. But your goal ahead of everything else. Then everything follows. So that's why here is going to be very difficult for you. That's why I always tell people, stay behind after the program, at least to sleep, and then to be able to relax and then relate now and be able to fellowship. But if you just come for the retreat, you're going to be losing your mind by the time you go back. Because that's our lifestyle here, not just mine. People who are working with me, we are living like this every day. Not just for 4 days. But because you are here just, for the first time, you need to get that way. But you will be surprised at the way people work here. Everybody is working 24. I mean, at 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we're still exchanging messages. And we're already here. 4 hours sleep, we're ready to go. Okay, we are on Facebook already, yeah? All right, want to welcome our Facebook audience. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ukraine. Welcome to HMT. We started last night. We actually started 2 days ago. But last night was the time we started with teaching, introduction. And today we're going to continue the teaching. The idea is how to become a history maker. So, and the whole thing is that we need, only personalities are history makers. So to become a history maker, you need to learn to become a personality. So yesterday we looked into what a personality is. Who is a personality? What is a personality? Today we're going to continue. Okay, here we go. Nada na veno sve tu stanovit, apia jitak jisa mega pshara. Nada suda prinesti. Okay, okay. Can you put on the slide? By the way, Babusha, that's a very great, what do you call it, gown? Yeah. Gown? You call it gown? Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Put on the thing now. The projector is not even on, or is it on?
It's on. It's on.
Are you sure it's on? This light is not on.
It's on.
Yeah, it's okay now. By the way, Queen Anastasia, you mentioned some books yesterday, and people were writing the comments that they needed. I think it's for the girls, really, but okay, they are busy now. I'm sorry, but the whole idea is that people were asking, they couldn't see and get the names of those books properly. So either you have to do it or the girls will have to do it, and let people know what you are talking about and the names and where to. Yeah. So anyway, welcome everybody. If you are here with us on Facebook, please go and share the link, go and share the message, go share the Facebook message. Yep, it's not our normal Facebook broadcast, but it's our training. And all these people here have paid their way to be here. They have spent and sacrificed to be here. So you are going to be receiving just a bit of this benefit of just following some of our teachings, but not everything, but some of them. So you might want to clear your schedule and timetable this whole week to be able to follow us with what we are doing and what is happening here. So go and share the link, go and share the message, and we'll be glad to, to share with you some of the things that we have going for us. Sure, what's the problem, Aribet? What видите, что творится? No, I think, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I think the light is reflecting on the, the big one. Because we might see it, but the people on TV might not see it. By the time we are covered.
On TV, we're showing directly. We're showing you and the slide at the same
Ah, okay. Let's see. Don't put it over there. Let's see if you are going to say, bring the thing down. Bring your, because we are seeing it on the sky right now. Libo sličkom daleko, libo sličkom nada i zoom сделать. Because the people who are responsible are probably still sleeping, Julie and Mayowa. I'm sure they didn't sleep till this morning, so they are not here to do it. So she has to cover for them. Okay, Zelatif Taro is Traniso. Should be passport trailer. No, we need to put off the light, I guess. Because it's not visible, right? It's not clear enough. I nada atadvino pa pomomu toli nazad toli period nada nene vot de projekta state. Haitamu sličkom basho ipolusha isa nada ivo toli nazad toli period zela. Pa probo period patadvin stall, some stall. Ne te nazad so atadve guys nada period. Short cost eta nada prosa voteta da krutit. Наоборот, надо тогда крутить. Ну хорошо, давай, а тебя пускай так будет. А Игорь где?
Нет.
Тоже нет, да? Хорошо, а тебя бы так, давай, пускай будет. Short coordinator, да? Окей. Слушай, где пастор Наташа? Есть другой проектор. Это не проектор делали наш, а? Не, мы купили другой в прошлом году только что.
Да.
Шор, да. Шор.
Нет, это самое хуже. Да,
Это
это
купили в
очень, да.
прошлом году.
Я сейчас позвоню Игорю, я успею, как
Okay, but can you see, can you people see, because it's not very clear.
Okay, see it, yes. I can see it.
You can see,
Yes.
you can read it.
Yes, it don't diagnose so.
Can you people read it? Is it clear for you? Okay, because you need to read it.
Yes.
Can you give him the microphone?
Even from here, I can read.
Yeah. Okay, sorry guys who are, technical moment. So the tema insurance, Venitas Nazad. So the topic of today, Srani Super Venitas. The topic of today is what makes for a man. Yesterday was personality. Today is who does God see as a man? That is what I call what makes for a man. Who does God call a man? Who is a man in God's sight? And what makes him a man? What makes you a man? A human being that is not like a man or female, but what makes you a man? Is it just because you have two legs? Unfortunately, many people think they are human because they have two legs, and they can talk, and what else? They have, just some very funny stuff we used to describe ourselves. So, but today I want you to see who God calls a man and what makes for a man according to God's definition and from God's perspective. Okay, so leadership. Leadership studies. Please go ahead.
My experience
One day, I entered into the auditorium where about 40 people were waiting for me. And I noticed something. Out of about 10 light bulbs, only 6 were lit. I switched on the remaining 4 bulbs, which resulted in a brighter room, a clearer view, and a general warmer atmosphere.
So I'm not that about an IT should be private at some. The ID paswani bisrinka. Yeah.
My questions. Does that mean that nobody noticed that all these bulbs were not on? Or was it a question of indifference? Next.
Okay, do you know the scenario, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Okay, before I answer the question, I want to ask you the question, the same question. Okay, let's say we enter here now, and it's not bad, we can see each other, it's operational, just like where is Ben? Spotlight's going to be, just like yesterday, there was the window opened, which is, and everybody is feeling cold, this whole place was cold, and he's sitting down there, but he didn't touch it, but he had an alibi, and the reason is that maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I want to ask most of you, when you go to a place and things are out of order, what is normally the reason why? What do you think? Can anybody answer me? I want you to give me your response. What is happening? Why, not just about you, but why do people leave things the way they see them? Or maybe they don't notice? How I feel comfortable.
I believe one of the reasons we don't do anything about is, first of all, we think someone else will believe, or we think someone else would do something about it. Believe.
Is somebody else's obligation?
Yes.
Good. I know that person has an idea.
I would think probably maybe it's the way of the person wants it. I don't know if I'm allowed to
interfere. That is what maybe that's the way people want it to be. Maybe I'm not allowed to interfere. Beautiful, beautiful.
And also it can be someone's personality. Maybe they just like to keep to themselves. In the sense of their, let's say,
I want to keep to myself.
Maybe it's not my
what do you call it, space.
My own space. It's not my own.
It's not my own. Okay, territory.
Well, in my case, because this happened with me,
yes.
So you need to hear the story from the horse's mouth.
From the horse's mouth.
Yes. So basically, in my case, what happened was I didn't realize that the window was opened. Okay. When I first came in, it was cool, and I thought, is this how it's going to be the whole time? So I got, my jacket, I wore it, and then when I sat there, that's when I noticed that the window was open. But I do know, having lived in these parts before, that sometimes they like to air the room before a meeting. So I understood that maybe when the time comes to start the meeting, then it would be time to close the window. So that's why I didn't.
That's the way it normally is.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't close it. Yeah.
Because they normally do that here. They open, yeah.
Yes. I might feel I'm not assigned for it, and it's not my responsibility, so I just.
Okay.
Well, I would feel that okay, some people feel I'm okay, since as long as it's okay with me, I don't care what others what others feel, and some would think, okay, if other people are there already, I'm just coming and I'm saying, and they are not bothered, why me? Why should I be the one to complain? Maybe the people are okay with it, so let me just be comfortable with it. So I think, yeah, yes. So that will really put me off, because I come into a hall and the lights are not on and people are sitting there. I will feel, well, since they are comfortable, well, who am I to come and say, let's put on the light? So I think that, okay, then let me just go that way. Let me follow that way. Good. Yeah, so, yes.
Actually, I wouldn't want to talk because I don't want people to see me as a complainer.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
They were like, oh, at least everybody have seen it. Why are you complaining?
Maintain the peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Well, the other way is that probably people are quite indifferent because, as we see, for instance, in the politeness of Canadians, we say, okay, it's not my business. I don't want to bother anyone. So just leave it like that. If I can see, I can see, right? But that's not the right thing.
So if I wouldn't feel comfortable with the atmosphere and the other lights not being on, I would at least ask the group if I could turn on the other lights. So maybe it's a lack of leadership or that people think that they're not.
You would ask?
I would ask. So
Wow.
Can I turn on the lights because I
Are
would
you
like
serious?
more lights? Yeah.
Then you're a free man.
I will do something about it. I will do something about it.
Because you are sitting beside each other.
I actually, I've actually thought in my meeting that if you find toilet papers in the toilet, you clean it up because the toilet belongs to God. So it's your responsibility to look after God's environment. Yeah.
Anybody wants to know from that side?
I think people are afraid to take the responsibility for themselves and stand up and actually do it and take the lead.
Well, that's true.
I would just think maybe is the standard, set. So so you don't touch it maybe because it's not your environment, so you just leave it and wait for maybe the person in charge to do something.
Okay.
For me, actually, I would ask if people don't mind. I want to close it. I'm feeling cold.
Yeah?
Yes, because
I
will look after myself and others. Because I will ask permission though, if they don't mind. But I have to react to what has happened to me because it might be happening to others and they can't talk.
In my case, I will assume that there's a reason why it's left like that.
You find a lot of team members there.
I think I want to check whether my observation was wrong, that the thing was wrong. Sometimes we perceive things very differently. And what you think is right for you may not be right for somebody else. So I want to examine it. Maybe I perceive wrongly, but if it's not wrongly, I want to make it known. I don't think this is right.
Okay. You are the engineer or what?
Analytical.
Yes, are you a scientist?
I think I would ask why is it the way that it is, but
Are you
because
sure you will ask? I'm not sure. You will ask.
I think I would.
Because the reason I think I'm not sure you will ask is I'm afraid you are giving me the right answer. I don't want you to give me the right answer.
Okay.
I want you to give me what we do. Yeah.
I think I would find an excuse to say maybe it is the way that it is because of a certain reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would find an excuse for it. Yeah.
And then maybe ask.
I would justify it. Okay. So maybe it's this way because of one or two.
So that's the natural response.
Yeah.
I would be me, I'll be nice and suffer in silence. Being honest.
Beautifully honest.
Yeah.
Candid.
Yeah.
Candid.
Yeah.
Respect for that answer. Professor, what will you say, sir?
Well, my reaction would be, if I walk into the room and I say it that way, I say, if they're happy with it, then I'm happy with
it. You think you have lived in Europe for a long time. You have lived in Europe for a long
Pastor,
time.
let me add something.
Microphone.
Yes. I've learned this already from you. What I said
before. You
before.
want to give the right answer now.
Yeah. What I said before was on a general thing. Because I noticed from where I'm coming from, Germany, I noticed there that when something happens, for example, you go to a supermarket and there's a long line and no one is complaining and the counters are like 3, 4 and no one is complaining. I normally break the rule because I learned it from you already. Yeah. So they will look at me as a black man, but I will go to the person at the counter and say, can we get someone in the next counter? And they will be looking at me, Yeah. But the man will say, okay, and he will call, and someone will come, and I'll be the one to go there first. But the line has been so long, so I noticed that, so I don't really break the rule. But I noticed.
You've been taught.
Yes, because I've learned it. Even I go to the doctor, the window is open, people are shaking, but I would ask, I'm feeling cold.
No,
I need
you
to
are
close
not
it.
talking as someone who's been trained. You've been listening to me for too long.
Yes.
But you gave the right response the first time, the natural response.
Yes.
Like for me, I will sit quiet and observe for like probably for some time. Then later, if nobody's around, I might go and test if the thing is working or not, or like close the door.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Okay. You still want to add something else? But I thought you said something before.
Yes, I did. but I wanted to say that it also depends on how I feel in the place. If I feel welcome, I might be bolder. But if I don't feel welcome, I might sit in a corner somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That's the human factor there. All right, now Pastor Ernest, here we go.
Yes, sir. My experience, okay. Next slide. The next thing I noticed as I walked to my seat in front of the auditorium, something else caught my attention. Some empty chairs were not orderly in anywhere. And I saw there were several people around those chairs who, nevertheless, seemed not to have noticed the disorderliness of their arrangements.
You got what's going on? Did you get the story?
Yes.
That happens all the time,
Yes.
everywhere,
Yes.
to all of us.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
That day, I didn't preach my prepared message. I needed to address the issue at hand.
Okay.
Next.
So the same situation, one was with light, and this time was with the shares. Okay. Anyway, sorry. By the way, when I was talking about, why we put HMT so stringent and so wisdom says, do everything you need to do. Put your work as priority. Read while you are eating, while you are in the toilet, so that when you have a little break, just go and take a nap. Don't go and be taking tea and be talking with anybody. Win the moment, or what the Bible says.
Win the time.
Redeem the time. Redeem your every minute. Redeem the time. So that way, if you'll be able to even sleep in, even if it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, 1 hour in the day, and then at night it will not suffer so much. And if you work, you manage your time. Think ahead of time. While you during the day, think of the night, the assignment. Maybe you are doing some now. Maybe while you are listening, you are combining things together to do, be on top of we want to teach you to be managers of your time and to master of your life, your time, and your life is coming out of your life is coming out of your time. So anyway, yeah, so next one.
The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something.
Okay, so about the light, the best way to not feel hopeless, do something about that light. About the shears, the best way not to keep on being frustrated, that's just the best response to life. And that is the response of personalities. You know what? I know why Barack Obama became the president in America. If I had been in America, I would have become president too, even though I'm Nigerian. Because I would have shown so much of this attitude that even though I don't have the papers, they would have been proposing for me to become president anyway. Because that is personality. Every nation is desperate for a personality. So when I go to America and I see my fellow Nigerians who are just happy to be getting good salary, to be professionals, I say, yeah, I'm surprised. Why is it that it's not coming to your mind that you can rule this country? Why is it that your disciples can do it? Or when I go to Britain, people are just say, oh, I got a new car, oh, I got a job, oh, I am the first black person to have that job, oh, I am the first Nigerian to be employed in that place, oh, I said, is there anybody is in this country that is even better than you? I don't even think any other way. That's how personalities approach life. There is no human being that is better than me in what I'm doing. And that's all the way all of us are, so when I got to America, just in 2 years of going to America, senators were listening to me like this. Congressmen. And all of them say the same thing. Teachers. And then the same thing in any country. So that's what personalities do. So I know why Obama became the president. You see what the way he responds to life? That should be your only response to life all the time. All the time. The best way to not
feel hopeless. The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make
but you know what pastors have done with my people in Nigeria? There is a term that I just learned this year in Nigeria. Nigerians, it's a beautiful term, beautiful word. They call it, they pray for this thing. They say, God, send me a destiny helper. Have you heard that word before?
Many times.
I never heard it before.
Many times.
I just heard it this year. I learned a new word this year.
Yes. And well transferred.
They have made my people slaves. They've damaged the psyche of a whole nation, especially the Christians. Let me tell you a story, which is the depiction of our whole life. God created two people, one person, two people, let's say, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve had 3 children. One was who? Cain. One was Abel. And one was Seth. Now, you know what those 3 people mean? Can you come, please? Who are you going to be?
Abel.
Abel. Can you come, please? Who are you going to be?
Okay.
Good. That's very kind of you. Who are you going to be? Seth. You want to be Seth. You want to be Seth. He's like he's scared. Are you want to be Seth? Okay, yes. Okay. You know the story. Cain killed Abel. God cursed Cain. Then nobody will continue the human race. Then God gave Seth. Now, so what does that mean? That talks about life. And you are in one of these categories. You are a descendant of either Abel or Cain or Seth. So who are these people? Abel stands for one. Every one of us, we are one of the two. Abel, let me give them their identity now. These are named Abel, Cain, Seth. But let me give the identity. This is victim. This is the villain. Problem. Villain. The problem. This is victim. This is problem. This is solution. He created the problem. She became the victim. He became the solution. You are in one of those two.
Wow.
Huh.
Never heard it this way.
Yeah, that's the way it is. The whole life is like that. So all through your life, you are either a victim. So what preachers have done to my people by telling them to expect
Destiny helper.
Yeah, destiny helper. They have killed. He killed Cain. Abel physically, but preachers have killed our people, not physically. They think they are still alive. But they have killed them in life, as to life. They've made them victim. When you make anybody a victim, you destroy them, you kill them. They are finished. They are done. Because when you are asking for a destiny helper, you have surrendered. You have given up. You are done. You have accepted defeat. You have accepted the fact that I am Abel. And who is Abel? Victim. Whenever you talk about politicians that are bad, and the Buhari and APC and PDP and the people that are not fixing it for you. You are saying, I'm helpless. That's what personalities don't do. Of course, there are still worse people in the country, in any country. Don't you know? Just worse people. They are the generation of Cain. And what's the generation of Cain? They are the ones who just create all the problems. Everything, all the problems start with them. Even that one is the one who created it. Yeah, but even the victim, they are the ones who create them. They are the problems. The GOs, the churches, the pastors, or the politicians, they are the Cain generation. They are not generating solutions, they are generating death. They are making people to be victims. They are killing people's potential, people's destiny. Three people, 3 children of Abel, of Adam. But personalities are the generator of Seth. Personality, they bring solution. And that's what we're here for, to become history makers.
Solution.
Okay.
Okay. So the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope.
No, wait. The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something.
Yes.
Don't wait for good things to happen to you. So who waits out of those 3? Who waits for good things to happen to them? Why?
Because it's giving us
Victim mentality. Victims keep on waiting for good government. Victims keep on waiting for God's provision. Victims keep on waiting for miracles. Victims keep on waiting for something to happen out of somewhere. So what he's saying is like, get yourself out of the generation of Abel.
Yes.
And then he said, don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope. You will fill yourself with hope. What is he trying to say? Become the what generation? Seth generation.
Seth generation.
Those are the personalities.
Yes. Yeah.
Right now, I and you, we belong into one of these generations. In our mind. But what is paining me most is that, okay, I'm not even one. In Nigeria, everybody is mad at politicians. I'm not mad at politicians. But I am not happy with churches and church leaders. Okay, let's say politicians are a Cain generation. They are creating problems. But church is created by God.
Yes.
To bring people out of hopelessness.
Yes.
But they create people now who are now asking God to give them what we call it, helpers. Destiny helpers. Destiny helpers. Because they themselves, that is the only way for them to be relevant. Because they must make themselves look as if they are sent by God to be these people's destiny helpers. So the people have to keep on looking onto them. That's how millions of our people have been reduced to victims. Abel generation. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Next. My questions to people in auditorium were one.
You remember where we started from? The shares and the light bulbs.
Yes.
Yeah. So you still remember your answers? So
Yes.
we are going back to that now. So how do we respond when the lights are not all lit and the shares are scattered and people are behaving different ways? Okay.
How come none of you noticed those light bulbs that were off? How about those 3 chairs roaming around?
Do you agree that there will be people who never noticed that the light? You know that? You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Next one.
How about those 3 chairs roaming around the place? You mean you didn't notice them?
There are people like that. Go ahead.
3. Or why is it that nobody did anything about those things?
That's another question. Some people will notice, but still don't do anything about it. So the people who didn't notice and the people who noticed, yet nobody did anything about it. For those reasons we had given, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer I got now formed the basis for this, my message.
Okay.
Next.
Go on.
Next. The reasons given by my audience. 1, some say they did not notice neither the lights, the bulbs that were not on, nor the chairs that were out of place.
Fair enough. We should believe them. If they didn't notice, fair enough. Fair enough. Some people are just like that. Okay. Number 2.
2, the second group noticed both the lights.
Okay, no, noticed.
Yeah, noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see it's underlined.
Yes.
You should emphasize what is underlined.
Okay.
So read it again.
The second group noticed.
You are a good student.
Both the light bulbs that were off and the chairs that were out of place. But they thought it was none of their business.
That is a different category of people. So let's now raise up our hands, those of us who are taught, you had said, it's none of my business, it's assigned to somebody else. Raise up your hand. You are taught like that. Because that was your answer. You remember you gave the answer?
Yeah.
No, keep on, keep it up, keep it up. Hey, show them. Don't go to sleep on me. You follow what we are doing and show their hands. They are the heroes. None of you said it's none of my business. You said that. Iffy.
I said it's possibly a standard. In
Okay, okay. It's not your position. Okay, don't worry. No, I was just joking. Okay, everybody must recognize themselves here. So some people belong to this group. It's not my assignment. Somebody else's occupation, somebody else's job. Somebody is assigned to do that. It's none of my business. That's just basically what we mean. Okay, next point.
Others noticed things that were out of place and thought to themselves that it could be that is the way things are supposed to be.
Oh, is that no? That's not you.
Yes, I mean that's.
You gave two answers. Okay. That is you. That is you. But is that somebody else said that? Somebody else said that was them. That's the way things are supposed to be. I think that's you said that.
I gave a general answer, but naturally, if I see anything, I'm a kind of person that notices things immediately.
And what will be your response?
My response will be like, I'll be paused and I'll be like, something must be done. And I'll be particular about it. Either call attention of somebody or ask them, why is that? Until that thing is, I will not even be focused. Okay. That is me personally.
But who said that third one? All that notice, they noticed, but they thought to themselves, not out. That it could be that's the way things are supposed to be. He was honest enough. He said that.
Yes, I said that
you
too.
said that too. I know that person. I think it was you said that. You said that too. Okay. Go ahead.
The fourth group of people noticed things that were out of order.
We lost the signal.
Okay. The fourth group of people noticed things that were out of order, but nobody wants some extra troubles.
Okay, we are number 4, right?
Yes. The fourth group of people noticed things that were out of order, but nobody wants some extra troubles.
Okay, who is that one? Okay, that was
Canadian politeness.
There was another one I said was very honest. That was you? It's not because you didn't want trouble.
No, it wasn't because I want trouble.
You were suffering in silence. Who didn't want some extra problem? Extra trouble? I think basically most of the people at the end of the day didn't want trouble.
All the calamities of our world are in these 4 points.
Okay, see now. So if all the calamities of our world is connected to either of these four, we have to read them again. So which one is number one?
Some said they did not notice neither the lights, the bulbs that were not on, nor the chairs that were out of place.
They didn't see. Those are people who don't see. Number two.
The second group noticed both the light bulbs that were off and the chairs that were out of place.
Okay.
But they thought it was none of their business.
You know, we have a lot of those here. Number three.
Others noticed things that were out of place and thought to themselves that it could be that is the way things are supposed to be.
So they saw it and they spoke actually to themselves. But here it could be within yourself or just in your own clique, in your own group. But you are not really going to affect a change. No, that's what happens in Nigeria most of the time. We see everybody is bad. The government is bad, the politicians are bad, but we are just talking in our own clique, in our own television station, just talking about it, but not really going to do something about it. And number four?
The fourth group of people noticed things that were out of order, but nobody wants some extra troubles.
And frankly speaking, if we are going to be totally sincere, most of us are that last group. If we are going to be totally sincere,
absolutely.
If you are going to, but you have ended up to be the only one who mentioned that one. But if we are all going to be really sincere, I have enough of my troubles. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but some of us who are
louder.
Some of us are burning to change those things, and that's why we're here. Because we're taking action to effect changes wherever we are. So maybe we were keeping quiet, but still looking for a way to find solution.
Okay, looking for a way. That's better than hoping for a way.
No.
Not waiting for destiny helper. Because those people who are hoping, they are the destiny helper people. They are the ones just waiting that somebody will do it, but not me. Somebody else will do it. Okay, next page. No.
They are ruining our world. Indifference, complacency, apathy, disinterest, nonchalance.
Okay, these things are ruining our world. These things. Indifference. What is indifference? Who would define indifference for me? What is indifference?
It's a nonchalant attitude.
Nonchalant?
Nonchalant. Careless.
Careless
about an issue.
Indifference.
Can't be bothered.
Because I have nonchalant there too.
Indifferent is more of being neutral. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, being neutral.
I think
you go with the flow.
I think so. Nonchalant might be more harsher than indifferent. Indifferent is just like what he said. You know, I'm not against, so if you want to do, make it do, I will.
I understand it that it doesn't really make a difference to you. You just, you don't really care. It doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Indifference.
Indifference. I see, I observe, but do nothing.
That's indifference.
Yes.
I don't care.
Not participating in providing solution, not taking action towards solving.
Okay.
Like for me, I think indifference is following the pattern that is already there.
Are you sure? Okay, that's interesting.
Indifferent is sitting at the fence. You are not joining A and you are not joining B. You are just at the fence.
Okay. Okay. What does indifference in French mean?
Yes. I would say having no feeling in front of a situation and no reaction, just like a dead man.
Do we have indifferent people in our countries, in Nigeria, for example? Do we have indifferent people?
Yeah. Many. Many.
Huh? Many?
So many people, yeah.
What?
Pastors, number one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Indifferent?
Yeah. Because I can't imagine how we have like 15 churches on one street and no one sees the potholes on the streets.
Is that indifference?
Yeah, because it doesn't bother them. Even the road to the church.
I think it might be
very bad.
selfishness.
Indifference because
they complain. Indifferent might not complain. It's just indifferent. I think we have more indifferent people in Europe. But the Nigerians will complain, no, but they will not do anything.
Because they think it's not their responsibility.
Yeah, because they think it's not their responsibility. Okay, what about complacency then? What is the difference?
complacency is sitting in one place, you are comfortable with where you are.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter.
Don't you think that what is happening with the pastors is more complacency than indifference?
It's still part of it.
Huh? Yeah. You think so?
It's just like, it is what it is, and let's just pray.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we have more of complacency with the pastors and the churches, but all of them are ruining our world. All of them are killing our world. What about apathy? They all look different, similar, but what is apathy? Aha, now we're in problem.
Non-responsive, like irresponsive.
No, I think apathy is more to do with feelings. So if it is apathy, it means instead of you having sympathy, or instead of you having empathy, which is, but it means that you are not having that feel, you are not attached, your feelings doesn't respond.
So you're emotionally detached.
Yeah, is that, no, you don't think so, sir?
You're emotionally detached from the situation.
Yeah.
Since it is to do with the feelings.
It's like somebody who has no nerves to perceive what's going on.
Okay.
And because you have no nerves, you don't respond. Even when there's fire on your skin, you don't feel it because you are desensitized.
Okay, for example, let me show you the example of apathy. Apathy is you having children, homeless children in Nigerian streets. These are children, no. But you are dressing your own children because you are feeling for your own children. Dressing them to school and taking them in your car to school. But you pass by other children in the street and you feel nothing. That is apathy.
No passion.
No, aha.
No passion.
Aha. Or you see people selling in the street, you try to like them or something, you don't even think that they are somebody else's children, your brother, or your countrymen, or they are human beings like you. No, our people in Nigeria, we don't have feeling. That's why we don't have love. Indifference is a little bit different. All right? Complacency is totally different. But apathy is what is killing, church members, pastors, gathering millions, using billions to show, but woman is crying like this. I can't pay for my school fees, so I can't, no feeling at all, no sorrow, no, I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, what I'm gonna say is apathy would mean people who are not really interested in making any difference or making an action to solve something and just leave it like that because it is what it is.
Okay, now there is a difference because you might be indifferent to act, or you might even be acting without apathy. Without empathy. You see, you might be acting like Europeans do. Many of them don't have empathy, but they still act because they know that is what is right to do. I don't know if you get it. Yes. But then, in this case, we are talking about the need to have empathy. So, and that means you are not just doing it because you are informed or because you know these are the right things to do, but you are feeling, you are burdened. But apathy, no connection. No connection, yeah. I think that's the word, no connection.
A few years ago, I went back to Ghana after a long period of being away.
Okay.
And there was in the area, there was somebody who clearly had a mental health problem and was roaming about naked, was not wearing any clothes at all, was looking, and I was really distressed when I saw the man because...
And then you see a lot of Ghanaians who are just passing by.
Yes. So
they don't even notice.
People were going about their lives as usual, and I asked my uncle, I said, has this man always been like that? He said yes, and he was kind of surprised that I was asking. He was kind of surprised. And then I was really troubled, but if he was here, and then it comes back to doing something. If he was here, I think I would have, because I know the systems and I know what to do. I really felt, because I was also visiting, I felt powerless and I was really unhappy. Then we traveled to my hometown, and on the way, I was just seeing them. One completely naked, just roaming by the streets. Another one. And I asked again, I said, why is nothing being done about this? And then the answer I got was, well, even normal people are struggling, so who's going to mind it? So the question of apathy, I think, is huge. And it's not just Nigeria, it's everywhere. Yeah, thank you.
But we don't dissect, people in our society and churches, we don't dissect problems like this. And this is at the core of our problem. And when I'm preaching, I just said love. There's no love. We don't know love. Because this is manifestation of love. This is an expression of love. But apathy is the thing. I don't know how our society has managed to desensitize, is it desensitize? Desensitize us from the feeling of another human being. Please, can you come? Let's say he's the one that is having the mental challenge, naked, walking around. And I am just passing by. But this is we are not even thinking that this is a creation of God like me. But this is a fellow Nigerian like me. I am Nigerian. This is a fellow citizen. That has a meaning to you because you are foreigners here. So you can see this is a fellow black man like me. Or this is a fellow human being like, I'm a fellow Nigerian. But in Nigeria, nobody thinks fellow Nigerian.
No.
Talk less of fellow human being, fellow God creation. That concept, that's what I'm thinking, that's what I'm going to. We don't think that other people are my colleagues, we are co. That this is, but in our country, Nigeria, you only feel like that to your family members. This is my blood. Yeah, that works. That makes sense to a black man, to a Nigerian. This is my blood. This is my sister, my brother. It's my name. We have the same surname. But we don't think that this is my fellow Nigerian. He's a countryman, my countryman. It doesn't click with us because that's how deep the apathy is sitting in us. And then to think that this is God's creation just like me. We don't even think from that our Christianity is not even iron that way. It's not even, our Christianity doesn't even work that way, that this is a fellow human being. Can you imagine that in my country, Nigeria, I was telling them here that when I go back to Nigeria, I am going to go to the north, because they say, how do you want to solve the problem of Boko Haram? I said, I'm going to go there. I'm going to set up hospitals, schools, mosques, and feeding centers. The people who are attacking me, who are so angry at me, were my fellow Christians, pastors. They said, you have really lost it. You have totally lost it. I've become Antichrist. How could you think of going to feed Muslims? Wow. These are the people who want to kill us. These are the terrorists. You want to go and so that they will kill us more. So they don't have a concept that even those Muslims and the terrorists are my fellow human beings. Now let me tell you what does fellow human being mean. Fellow human being means, can you come please? What does fellow human being mean? Fellow human beings means he is God. He is God. Yeah, he is God. He gave birth to me. I come out of him. He is God. He too comes out of him. both of us, we are his product, his creation, and we know it. We come out of him. That's what fellow human beings mean. But he's a Muslim and I'm a Christian, but we are coming out of him. Both of us carry his image. We are family. We are the same. So if my fellow human being is hungry, who should be the first to respond? I'm the one. He's my brother. We come out of the same source. He carries his image, the same that I carry. But with this concept needs to be reintroduced.
Absolutely.
To the Nigerian church. Can you imagine to church? I'm not saying to atheists. I'm saying to church. People who say they are God's people. People who preach that God created everybody. They can't, the apathy is so strong that they have been so desensitized so badly that they don't even feel that. Okay, the northerner, some of them in my place, they call them mullah. That mullah, or that, they just say as if it's just some animal there. I mean, you are talking about human being, you are talking about that one too. But it's my image. It's my likeness. He's a Muslim. I'm happy to make my image happy. He's a terrorist? Yes, I know, because he's been deceived. But I will help him to recognize who he is and where he's coming from. So we have lost that apathy, that empathy. We have lost that empathy of being a human being. Of being a human being. And that's what makes us to now be indifferent, to be complacent, and all that. Thank you. Let's continue.
I don't want to live in
No. Go back. We didn't finish here. So we've gone through this,
Apathy,
disinterest. So what is disinterest? I'm not interested in that. That's not my interest.
Yes.
I'm just not interested in that. That's just not my interest. You know, I know it, I see it. Okay, for example, in my country, do you know pastors and even Christians, leaders, they say, because I was teaching one time, I said, Jesus said, I was in prison, you didn't visit me. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. They say, yeah, but that is not our own calling. That's not our own area, you know. We are called to the businessmen, the full-time, what they call them? Don't put it up. They call them full-time businessmen or something. Gospel businessmen, something. What?
Full gospel.
Yes.
I was there.
Full gospel business. Yes. Yeah, that's what we are called for. It is not our calling to go to prison. Maybe some people have that call. Disinterest. Yeah, I see that there are people. You know those people you saw that they are walking naked? They will say it's not their own calling. Maybe there will be some people who are called, so they are disinterested. That's disinterest. They just remove their own interest from it. And that's the kind of gospel we appreciate in Nigeria. You don't have to be interested in that because that's not our area. That's not, our church is not called for that kind of thing.
Pastor, I always hear people say, you know, sometimes when I talk to them, they will tell me, you always have the poor among you. That's all I hear. You always have the poor among you. So why are you worried?
Jesus said it.
Yeah, then you always have the poor among you.
So leave them to die.
Yes.
So that's why sometimes I think, do you people really believe there is hope? This world, will it ever get out? Can we change the church? Yeah? You think so?
But to be tough.
Because we need to really awaken human feelings.
Yes.
Because in Europe, you don't need to be a Christian, no. You don't need to be a Christian to have all of this.
Yes.
You don't at all.
Yes.
You are just a human being. To have all these things, you just need to be a human being, my dear. But if you are a Christian, these things are supposed to be heightened in you. On maximum capacity of all these things. But in my country where I come from, my continent, I'm sorry. Then we have nonchalant. Oh, the nonchalant are just like, go to hell, everybody. That's the worst one. That's the worst case scenario. The nonchalant, and how it's good. It's go to hell, everybody. Go do anything you want. Go to hell. That's the nonchalant. Okay, let's go.
I don't want to live in a kind of world where we don't look out for each other. Not just the people that are close to us.
That in Africa, you only look after those people who are close to you, your relative. Your empathy only stops with your people. Yes.
But anybody who needs a helping hand. I can't change the way anybody else thinks or what they choose to do, but I can do my bit. Charles Delins.
You know, this kind of guy, they say he's an unbeliever. We will describe them as unbelievers. Heaven will be full of surprises. This heaven is going to be full of surprises big time because, I mean, if we are calling this one unbeliever and he's thinking like this, and we are believers and we don't even care, I wonder who is the believer. I think God would describe believer by action rather than by going to watch the church, by religiosity. For me, this is the believer, not the religious person. Can you believe it? I don't want to live in a world where we don't look out for each other. Muslim, Christian, that's Christianity. That's what Jesus brought. Not just the people that are close to us, but anybody who needs a helping hand. Yes, I can't change the way everybody thinks or what they choose to do, but I can do my bit. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what we all should do. Go ahead, please.
Let's examine more closely ourselves with 4 points.
With those 4 points, right? You remember those 4 answers?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Next. We did not note, okay, those 4 points, category 1.
Okay.
Those who don't notice what is out of order.
That is the first category. You remember, guys?
Yes.
People who don't even notice that something was out of order, okay? Now, in Nigeria, do you know, and you can't blame them for that, a lot of people don't just know that some things are out of order because they've not been outside, nothing to compare it to, so you can understand those kind of people. Sometimes I have more sympathy for these people than for those people who know things are out of order and not do anything about it. Next one.
We did not notice.
So those are the people who didn't know something is out of order, right?
The first category are those who don't notice what is out of order and what needs to be fixed. Have you ever seen a situation where...
Can you see the dirt? If you go to Africa, everywhere is like this. And people don't seem to even notice it. So that's our first level of operation, to try to open people's eyes. So sometimes some of these things that I'm doing, at least it will open people's eyes. Now it will be their choice either to act or not to act. Okay?
Have you ever noticed, or have you ever seen a situation where someone walks into the room and nobody seems to bother to offer him a seat?
Ooh, does that happen with where you come from? Let's say a lady comes in and all the men are sitting down as if not a human being walked in at, but just a cat or a goat. They don't stand up. That never happen where you come? It doesn't happen where you come from?
Oh, no, of course. Sure.
It's the norm, you see. Okay?
Whatever the reason may be, they refuse to act. We often see this on a regular basis in our countries. People don't see anything wrong with the way the system and cities run.
It's a pity. Go ahead.
Next. When you don't notice the obvious, when you don't notice issues, challenges, disorderliness, and chaos around you, or you're indifferent to them, you have been blinded by your needs.
Stop. Either you like it or not, either you admit it or you don't admit it, but the main reason why people don't see is because they are living inside. They are living a lifestyle that enables them to see only their own problems. At the end of the day, the reason why you don't see is because you have been blinded by your ego or by your own problems. But it's still your ego. Okay, the person who said, we have so many people who are not mad and they are not eating, is because of me. And that's what is killing our continent as well. Everybody wants to care for themselves, for their family, for their relatives. And because that's the only thing you see. You don't see beyond that. That kills humanity in you. That kills empathy in you. That kills love in you. And when you are blind to the needs of others, you stop being a human. Because your own needs, you don't need to be not to be blind to see your need. Your own need you see anyway because they are your needs. They live with you. Your eyes are not for you to see your needs. They are for you to see the needs of others. That's how life is. The more you are able to see the needs of others, the more you are human. You remain human or humane. But when you still see the needs of others and how to reach out to others, the less you are human. You lose humanity, you lose dignity, you lose empathy, you lose love. You stop being human. Yes, please.
It means you are presently thinking of those things that are bothering you. That is selfishness. That is catastrophic.
Okay, is it bad to think about something bothering you? Yeah, maybe it's not bad, but when you just think about that, then it becomes bad. Because no matter what is bothering you, there is somebody else somewhere who is going through something worse. And the ability to notice what they are going through makes you to even get assistance, help in your own trouble. But when you just, I don't care, I don't want to see what other people are going through, I'm my own problem, then you have been overcome by evil. That problem has overruled you. That problem has just overcome you. That problem has just made you to lose yourself. But problems are coming to make us better. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways to be better is to begin to look for people who are worse off and begin to help them out and begin to assist them. Then you see less of your own troubles. And then God will use that to also lead you out of your trouble. Because when you are trying to deliver others, you get out. Because you have to get out to deliver others. So when you are in a hole, let's say you are in a hole, but somebody else is out there that you want to help, just that need to help others. By the time you are getting the other person out, you don't even notice that you yourself have gotten out of your own hole. That's how life is made to be. Okay, go ahead. Next stage.
Only one cure. To be less selfish.
So for us to cure that particular first category, to teach people the ability to see. Okay, for example, we think in my country, we think education is what is needed to make people to be able to see. Yeah. But education is not enough. Because education will give them knowledge. But if they are still selfish, if they are still self-centered, if they are still concentrating on themselves, they will still not see. Education is not enough. Education will give them enlightenment, some education, but we need to teach them to be less selfish. It goes back to the core of who they are, not what they know. So for us to really help people to begin to see everything that is wrong, we need to begin to teach them to think less of themselves, to begin to think about the good of others. For example, in my country, since I was a child, since I was in primary school, everybody kept on telling me, and they tell everybody else too in the country, don't litter the floor, don't throw trash out, don't throw papers everywhere, don't throw trash out. I had that all my life. Do you think I stopped doing it? Do you think I stopped doing it? Not just me, nobody stopped doing it. Everybody kept on throwing trash. When I came to Europe, it became more difficult because nobody is doing it. So the environment conditioned me. But later on, I discovered something else, that not throwing trash, the best motivation to not doing that is that I should think about other people. If I make this place dirty, our neighborhood dirty, if I throw the trash and another person throws the trash, the person is not thinking about me. I'm not thinking about him. So we all live in the jungle. It's just like saying, living by the law of eye for an eye. Okay, eye for an eye, you pluck off my eye this time because I did something wrong. Next time I pluck off your eyes, then we live in a country of blind people. So it should be about other people.
Yeah.
You know, so if I want you to feel good in your neighborhood and I want to feel good myself, you don't do bad, I don't do bad, we're all fine. But if I'm just thinking about myself, I want to get rid of that trash. That's thinking about myself. I don't want to put it in my pocket to make my pocket dirty. Let me just put it somewhere there. Yeah. That's thinking about myself. So selfishness without, education without dealing with the question of selfishness will not get us anywhere. They have been telling me, don't trash, but they didn't tell me about selfishness and about what selfishness is doing to harm me. I didn't know it was they didn't call my problem by my name. That throwing that trash is all about my selfishness because I don't want to put it in a pocket. I want to get an easy way out. I want to, get rid of it so that I'm just free. It's ego. It's about me. So they have not told me that this is egocentric. They just say, don't do it. So if we want to really help people to begin to see, we must teach them to be less selfish. Less self-focused, less troubled about their own particular matter. Is teach them to confront, to look into the definition, into the mirror that it is selfishness that's making me to do this thing. I love myself. I don't live like that. Don't live like that. Don't just live for yourself. Live for the larger good of the community. Oh, that is something else. And for me to now see that, so I'm doing that because I'm selfish, makes me a little bit ashamed. And I don't want to see myself as being selfish like that. And then to know that other people know that I'm selfish, I don't want them to know that I'm selfish. So that helps me a little bit. Why is it that in Europe I don't throw it everywhere? Because I don't want them to think that I am bad. That everybody is not doing it, I'm the only one doing it. You see? So we need to confront the question of self. The reason why people in our churches don't help, why are we building structures and we don't help the widows in the church? Selfishness. Why? Because if I build a big church, everybody will respect me. We need to tell them about selfishness. We need to tell our GOs, our pastors that let's confront the problem of selfishness. The reason why we gather offering and tithe from everybody else, but when that person has a need, they come to us and we say, okay, have you paid your tithe? Well, how long have you been coming to the church? What is your home group? It's because we want to keep the money. Selfishness. So guys, don't be afraid of telling people about selfishness. Don't be afraid of confronting selfishness. Okay, for example, there was a girl yesterday that had a birthday. She's just a small girl. She's 19 years old. She's the daughter, 21? or 21-year-old. She's the daughter of one of my pastors who live here too. So she came to just thank me and everything. But when she was hugging me, if I was selfish, I'll be thinking about myself. I'm afraid what people will think. So I deprived somebody of the passion she needed, of the touch she needed, of the lift she needed, of the blessing, the joy, the fullness of joy she needed. But you have to be less selfish, not to think about yourself at that point, but think about another person. Give them what they need. Give them what will help them. You know, so selfishness is much more complex than we are thinking. If I'm in a hurry, I'm thinking about myself. But if that person is that good Samaritan, the person, the victim, is lying down, and I'm in a hurry to church, and I pass by, the reason I don't respond to him is because of selfishness. Yes, I have an excuse that I'm going to church, but it's still selfishness. Because I don't want to go late to church so that people don't think bad about me. If I help him, nobody gives me credit for it. It's still selfishness. So selfishness is very crucial. So that's the thing all of us need to address. When we're talking about the women in Nigeria, the Edo women, yesterday they just found, I got an article today. Yesterday they found in Italy somewhere, they found 26 bodies of Edo ladies, all of them Edo girls. What? Washed off the river, the ocean. And you know, but you said it was 1,000. It's actually 4,000, $4,000 to $6,000 they pay. All of them paid $4,000 to $6,000 to come to Europe. They don't even know that most Europeans cannot even afford to pay $4,000 for a trip. 80% of people, they are able to come up with $4,000, $6,000 to take a trip to Europe, so that they don't know that all of Europe, in Europe, the one they are rushing to, all their citizens, they cannot afford $4,000 trip. Maybe 20% of Europeans can afford that. It's true. $4,000 trip?
They can't.
But Africans are getting that money to go through the bush. My God. And go through the trek, not even taking plane, not even with the passport. And they still died. And they were going to work as prostitutes. Jesus. And paying $4,000 to even get there to work as prostitutes. Oh my God. Aye. Jesus Christ. Come start a business. So, but what we were talking about with Grace is that all of us, we Nigerians, we just talk about it. And that is Nigerian expertise. We are experts. Just comment. We are commentators, born commentators from heaven. Almighty God gave us that gift. The people who are carrying drugs in Nigeria, Nigerians talk. Oh, but we don't see ourselves as the generation of Seth. We are all kingdom helpers, or what do you say? Kingdom helpers, or what do you say? Destiny helpers. We are all praying that God will send them destiny helpers. And we who are talking like that, we are the same. We have all victim mentality. Yeah. Absolutely. That God will send someone, God will somehow resolve that problem. But not me, you see. But that's connected with selfishness too. Because I have my problem. Because I don't know what to do. Because there is nothing I can do. But you can do what Dr. Arams is doing, for example. Put on your Facebook and talk. And bring solution to people. But what we do, we don't talk about solution. We just talk. Complain. We become victims. Remember, Adam had 3 sons. One was a problem, one was the victim, and one was a solution. Yes, go ahead.
To be less selfish, to be less self-focused, to be less troubled about your matters, things begin to be visible only as we become less and less selfish.
You remove self. you begin to see selfishness blindfolds. Selfishness made a city of blind people, a country of blind people. Remove selfishness, we'll begin to see. Go ahead.
And egocentric. Be determined to develop the ability to see. Next. What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others and the world remains and is immortal. Albert Pike.
Can you believe that? My people in my country, we don't know this. Even pastors, churches in my country don't even know this. This is from the Bible, but we don't know it. We don't live like this. What you do for yourself dies with you. What and what most people do in my country, we live for ourselves and our families. That's why we are not memorable and we are not remembered. And our children will not be remembered too. But people who live beyond themselves and their families, their immediate family, that's why Jesus said, what profit does it profit you? Or what does it say? Is that the way he said? What does it profit you to just do good to those who do good to you? To invite to the party those who invite you. To love those who love you. That's not the way of life. That's not the order of life. Life is not supposed to be lived like that. Now, why is it that I don't just quote the Bible? Because people are used to those Bible words. It doesn't mean anything. So I look for famous, just for you to know how I preach my message. I look for famous individuals as well, who will say it in their own words, but they are still saying the words of Jesus.
Yes.
And you say, if that man, and they do it in a different, so you begin to see it in a different perspective. That's my books I write like that. I write my books like this. So, you see, what we have done, this is the same words of Jesus, but it's said in a very succinct way. What we do for ourselves dies with us. And that's the poorest way, the lowest way to live. To live for yourself. So everybody is always asking me, how is your family? How are your children? How are you be able to make it? Because I've been able to plan in such a way that 80% of my time is going to be for kingdom, for other people. My family, I give them enough. But I don't live for my family. No. God forbid. You are not supposed to live for your family or for yourself. No, that's not the order of life. Anything, if you invite people who invite you, you have not lived. That's not the order of life. If you do good to those people who do good to you, you can get back, or if you invite people who invite you back, or give to the people, you have not lived at all. You've not done anything. So our whole life, all of us, is supposed to be tailored in such a way that 80% of your life is live for others. And I don't think many of us will pass that mark. That 80%, 80 for others. Can you really pass that mark? Then you will not be remembered. I guarantee you will not be remembered. It's not because I guarantee you, it's me, because that's just the order of life. People who live for themselves, they are never remembered in times and in eternity. For you to remain, you've got to live 80% of your time for others. Or for your purpose, one of the two. It's still for others. Or you'll be forgotten. And do you know how many people have been forgotten in this world? And all these people you are seeing, all these big great men you are seeing, all these photos, the only reason why they are here is that they live for eternity, for others. They didn't live for themselves. That's why they are remembered. So you begin to live when you understand this. But in my country, everybody is rushing, struggling, just for themselves. And that's why they die shaking. They are just dying like chicken, like rat. Just rat, like rat. Nobody. They might be good, they might be talented, they might be bright, but you have violated the order of life. And what's the order of life? Life is not meant to be lived for self. That's why Jesus couldn't live for himself. Even Jesus, he had to give his life.
I want to say something. There's this gospel that I grew up with. I gave my life to Christ in one of the oldest Pentecostal churches in Nigeria. And there's this gospel, because when I gave my life to Christ newly, at that time I began to see problems and why people were not being helped. But this gospel was sold to us that it is not good works that take people to heaven. It is, so our Christian life must be only about heaven, not about problems, because it is not doing good things will not take you to heaven. So that has been, I think that is one of the greatest, I don't know where they got that message from. And the whole of that denomination believes this. And that thing is so strong. Some weeks ago, I posted something. You made a statement on the broadcast that a church started in Jerusalem, came to Europe and became strong, and went to Africa and is sick. I got so much attacks from this church that I belonged. In fact, I spent 1 week responding to messages until I was tired. I had to write. I said, I'm not going to respond to any post, any message again. Whatever you like, write. Let me have my peace. Because there's so much came at me hard, and because of this gospel of self, and everything is just opposite. So when I came to know you, I now began to see this church, and people are so zealous, so committed, so punctual, and they are useless to this society. So that gave me, I began to see it like a prison. Friends of mine are still there till today. They are not making any impact in their world. And these are talented people who go to church. They come every 3 times in a week. And they don't miss these services 3 times, 3-4 times. For those who are workers, 3-4 times. And they are very constant. So this is the gospel. So how are we going to affect, how are we going to attack this way that people will, I mean, this gospel will be able to,
now,
sink in?
They are saying that we are not saved by works. Yeah, but we are already saved. So we are not talking about being saved. We are talking about manifesting Jesus, revealing Christ. But you see, when we live for ourselves, we die. What, do you know where fences come from? In Nigeria, every house has a fence, big fence, long fence. Everybody is living in a different estate. Why? I want to live for myself, my comforts. I must shut you out. You are a nuisance. You are a problem. You are not good enough to come to mind. So a whole society that is selfish like that will never see development. So we must remove selfishness from our psyche of our people and begin to see that real living, we think is enjoyment when I'm able to shut out everybody and put a fence, big fence, and shut out everybody. But it's not enjoyment though. But we must change the psyche of our people that enjoyment is when I just do good and live for. When we attain that level of civilization, then our country, our development will be rapid. Because every worker will know is I'm not working to get salary, but to live, to be a blessing to other people. That the more quality of this work I do, the tiles, the thing, the painting, the building, the more quality I do it for people, the more I do my best, yeah, that's when I live, that's when I'm going to be remembered. When our people, everybody, the teachers, the lawyers, the doctors, because people are dying in hospitals because you cannot, everybody's thinking selfish. What can I get from it? What can I get? But if everybody will know that, no, real blessing is in when you do things for others. That's when I live. You mean it? That's why churches are supposed to be doing, you see. But they are making us more selfish in churches. So we'll now take money to church as offering and tithe because I want God to multiply 10 times. So it's all about selfishness. But I will not take that money and go and take care of the orphan or the widow because that will not be multiplied. I'm not sure it will multiply. So our whole gospel and concept must change into the fact that no, real life is when you are. It is when you are giving. That's when you live, and you don't just live now. You live for time and eternity. So if we could pass this message across, then we will not be indifferent.
Yes.
Then there will be no apathy.
Yes.
Then there will be no, all those things we say, indifference, apathy, what are those?
Nonchalance, complacent,
disinterest. We will not have those ones. Because we will know that actually, so blessing is in doing things for others. So see it again.
What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others and the world remains and is immortal.
Who wants to live forever? This is how to live forever. And that's why only through love you go to heaven. People who go to heaven, they are immortal. And what takes them there is because of love. They love God and they love others. That means they live for God, they live for others. Love is giving, living for others. So they give their life to God, they give their life to people, they live immortal. They are eternal. But we think that we are going to church, we are going to be immortal, not because of love, but because I do religion. I go and sing and pray and do this. We need the gospel to be introduced to our continent. Okay, go ahead.
Next. Category 2. Those who noticed but decided it is none of their business. Go ahead.
So they saw problem, they see problem, but they just think it is none of their problem, okay? This is the second category of people that we have in the world.
Next. Those who noticed but decided it is none of their business. Men who look but don't see. Men who see physically but don't see mentally.
So what don't see here is different from the first category. This one see physically. You understand?
Yeah.
But they are not seeing the need to act, to provide solution. So they see physically, but they don't see mentally the goodness in resolving the problem. Yes.
Men who see on the surface, but don't see the depth.
See, they are the ones who say they are none of their business. Because if I see, like I've just told you now, that actually it's when I do things for others, I live eternally. That I'm immortal. That I've seen. That it's to my good, it's for my profit to live for others. Now, I'm not just seeing the need now physically, but I'm now seeing even the need to do things for others. Okay?
They see the issues as a matter of fact, but they don't see the need to respond to them.
So it's a philosophical thing. It's a value system thing. We need to change people's value system, understanding of life. That real life really is when I'm doing something for others. Now that will explain to you why my wife and my children will allow me to be doing all what I'm doing. Because they have understood that. That is real life. And that's what Christ did. He left heaven and he gave a life for others. And God told Abraham, I want to bless you, but only on one condition. You'll be a blessing. So you are blessed to be a blessing. So the whole thing is not about you being blessed. It's about being a channel, being a blessing. So if you are not going to be blessed, you will not taste blessing. Okay?
They see the issues as a matter of fact, but they don't see the need to respond to them. That indeed is a greater tragedy than blindness.
Now, the blindness, the first ones are the blind people. They don't even see that something was wrong. And that's because of selfishness. But this one too is selfishness, but it's more chronic, is worse than selfishness. They don't see perspective. They are seeing the problem, but they don't see the need to respond to it. It's worse than those people who don't see the problem. Okay, go ahead.
Next. Who is a sound person? A sound person mentally and spiritually does not just notice the situation on the ground. A healthy person finds ways of fixing the situation. A sound person will not pass by a need. That is a lesson Jesus was trying to teach us in the story of the Good Samaritan. Next. A person of action.
So you people know what I mean by sound, healthy, yes. Sound,
yes.
Normal.
Yes.
So we should teach our society that it is abnormal not to respond to life situations. You are sick, you are not sound, you are not healthy. If you could pass by the needy, you are sick. You are sick. And those kind of sick people, they don't go to heaven. You know, God told the man and said, the priest who passed by in the story of the Good Samaritan is not going to heaven. And then the other one, the Levite, also is not going to heaven. They are sick. If you cannot respond to the need of humanity, see the need of others and respond to it, you are sick. You are not healthy. You are not normal. And these are the kind of things that must be returned to our society. That all healthy people respond. They see. They do something about what they say. Go ahead.
A sound person is a person of responses. It's a proactive person. If somebody walks into the room where he is the first to stand up and get a chair for the visitor. He is the first to ask about the welfare of the people in need. If a sound man is driving down the street, he will not pass by the poor woman with tears in her eyes. He will park his jeep beside the road and ask the poor lady what he could do to help her.
Every car in Nigeria will be stopping. Because there are so many needy, but nobody stops. Go ahead.
There is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. John Holmes.
Is that not beautiful? Is that not beautiful?
It is.
Is that not beautiful?
It is.
Now let's say that again. There is no
exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up.
No better exercise. But in my country, people don't hug other people like this. But this is lifting people up right here. Going down, especially if you are high. You see, it's all about who can go down, reaching down. Who can go down, who can reach down. It's somebody who is comfortable, who is higher.
Yes.
But those ones who are higher in our place or where I come from, are the ones, it's like a taboo for you to go down. Like this, my brother now. Come. I was using him as an example just now, and I was trying to hug him and trying to talk about the same child, and he's scared. Because he's not used to people who are high up to be bowing down to him, or to be honoring him, or to be seeing themselves as equal to them. And this is another thing that has to be broken in our society. People who are up there, it must be the norm. We must teach them that there is the best of life, better living is when you come. You know, in my country, you are up there, everybody must be buying. You do it the way they do it in Africa. Yes, sir. I can, sir. I can, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know what it does? You know what it will do? A big man, he will say, yeah. How are you? But that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. But the normal one is who is not bad also, but it's not too good. It's not too kind. It's just normal. Most people will say, okay, you do the same. Greet me as usual. Hi, how are you? Where is his telephone? Okay, you be doing it again. Sunday, how are you? How is Mama? How is Mama? How is okay, you can go Saturday. Yes. Okay. Okay. So what do you want? Yes, sir. Keep on. Okay, yeah. I just keep it. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. If you have been to Africa before, you know I'm not telling lies.
It's true.
Is it not true?
Absolutely true.
They even enjoy that he is bowing like the bow, and he's just doing. They are just doing vanity. Okay, there's another one who will be. That's another category. Another category will be doing this. Okay, you will be doing. Hello, hi. Hello. You keep on saying, yes, how are you? Hello, how are you? This is the culture I come from. They have not been told that that's not greatness. That's not being big. That's being small.
Jesus.
I have a lot of small people in my country who people are calling big. I'm saddened by it. And it's time for us to change the mindset of our people and to teach them that no, what makes you great is your ability to go down and be a support system. I mean, he was in heaven. He came down, took on upon himself the image of ordinary man, and became a slave to save ordinary that man. And that's why he was exalted and was given a name greater than any other name. There is, yes. There is no greater, better exercise than reaching down and lifting people up. You know why? There's no greater exercise. It's not just because you are trying to be good, you are kind. No. It's because that person you have lifted up, okay, I'm going to lift her up. But by lifting her up, just hugging her, just being good to her, just hugging her, or just giving her a high five even, or just supporting her anyhow. Yes. Anyhow I lift anybody up. Yes. Immediately, anybody you lift up, the reason why it's the greatest exercise is that you have just lifted God up. Anytime you lift a man up, you lift God up. Because God is not in heaven. God is in people. Yes. And anybody you lift up is God. Because he carries the image of God himself. So that madman that everybody was passing by, they just passed by God. But by lifting that crazy man, that madman up, they have lifted God up. It's an opportunity to lift God up. It's an opportunity to reach out to God. That's why Jesus said, I was the one who was naked and you didn't clothe me. It's not the madman that was naked. Because every human being, including the madman, is carrying the image of God. When you put a man down, you put God down. When you lift a man up, you lift God up. No better opportunity, no better life. So the reason why there is no greater life than to go down and pick people up is because when you do that, you pick the greatest of all up. You pick God up. So if God gives you the privilege to pick other people up, it's just like saying God has given you the privilege to go and be picking Jesus, to go and give a hand to Jesus. All of us will get crazy to do it. But you have that opportunity every day. Because human being, anyone, is the image, carries the image of God. When you lift a man up, you lift God up. But when you put a man down, you put God down.
Good everyone. Like ever since I came in yesterday, I've been quiet a bit. I'm just like observing what is going on. And when I came in and when I saw Pastor Sunday Adelaja, I felt like crying. But it has been difficult for me to like shed tears, but I've been crying in my heart that is it me that is seeing him? Like, is it me that is communicating with him? Yes, I was thinking, like, I don't know what to say. But, like, there is no love in the Christianity that most of us have been practicing. Like, when I was in Belarus, as I met Christ, I have this, like, desire to, help people. Because most of us, we proclaim Christ, that we believe in Christ, but we are not practicing it. But I, at least by the grace of God, I try to practice it. So people are attracted to me. And later in the church, when we were doing workers' meeting, they said that everybody is open to, everybody is coming to you. That means you are compromising, that's why. That was how they saw it. That people were attracted to me, both the Muslims, because of the kind of life I'm living. So it became a problem whereby I try to like live for myself, but it's difficult. But I say that what I was doing was the right thing, and by the grace of God, I will continue to live the love of Christ. Thank you very much.
You are thinking, wait. You came in since yesterday and you said you have been thinking, am I really the one standing before Pastor Sunday, right? Am I really the one seeing this man face to face? But you are not just the one seeing him face to face. That same person you are thinking, I'm crying for 2 days, I'm thinking, am I the one? Isn't this happening to me? That same person you are crying that you are seeing face to face is the one bowing down to you today. And is the one hugging you. Because you are not inferior to him, and you are not inferior to any man.
Yes.
You are the same as him. He's your brother.
Yes.
He's the same blood, the same father as you. You are not inferior to him.
Yes.
You are not less than him. We are the same Son of God. You know, I bow down to the God in you, so it's not a problem for me. I can do it. I can do it. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I have a personal story that I would like to share based on what we just saw about seeing the need and responding to it. The community where I come from in Nigeria, we have a lot of religious crises. I mean, if you're familiar with Nigeria in the north, that's a common problem that we have. And I had an opportunity to visit home in 2015. And I went home and I saw the problem. There was so many destruction in my community, and it got to a point that the Christians were living in a separate area of the city and the Muslims are living apart. And I went back to the US. I was really bothered by what I saw, because everybody talks about it, but nobody is doing anything to fix the problem. So I said, I must do something about it. I didn't allow the fact that I live far away from home to prevent me from doing it. So I started doing peace and conflict resolution seminars. Then I organized a major football tournament, which comprises about 6 local governments in that area. And that is the real deal breaker, because there was nothing that brings the Christians and Muslims together. They have their market, the Christians have their market, the Muslims have their market. Wow. They live separate area. There was nothing bringing them together. But when I did that tournament, I put a lot of money into it, and the prices make it so attractive. And that was one event that brought everybody together. They start interacting. In fact, there's a local government that actually nicknamed me as the man of peace. And I got all kind of awards from people that say, this is one thing that has actually brought us together. But people talk about it, nobody did anything about it. So that was really an experience that I love to share.
Thank you. The greatest exercise, the greatest kind of life is to always let God make you somebody who is been placed in a place that you will be able to come down to meet others. It's a privilege, it's a trust. Because anytime you go down to reach to others, you should be thanking God that you are not the one somebody is coming down to pick up. And then no matter how low you are, you can see God low to meet others. It's a privilege. It's always a privilege. It's always a privilege. And that's what we should teach our people, that is the joy of life. That's the source of joy. Not what I have for myself and keep for myself, give to myself, but what I can give to others. Okay.
Next. What is better, to give excuses or to respond? Some individuals will come up with an excuse that if I stop to help a person, he could be an armed robber, or something bad could happen.
You know, in my country, that is always the excuse. That's always the excuse.
Can you imagine the Good Samaritan refusing to stop by the bloody victim?
Because the armed robbers might still be around.
Might be because he was afraid. We can always find excuses, but it is better to find an argument to be a real person. Next. On a lighter note, a real man notices not just the big issues of life, like the challenges, the troubles, and the sorrows.
You know, some people, they are only doing big things. They are only noticing, no, they are too busy to notice that today is the anniversary of the woman's husband's death, for example, and somebody's father's death. They will not notice small things like that. Or they will not notice that you have a new hairstyle or a unique hairstyle. They will not notice that. They will not notice because they are too big. But it's still part of smallness. If you are really a man of big heart, you notice small things too. Okay?
A real man will notice seemingly insignificant things like other people's dress code, hairstyle, suits, haircuts, style, pleasant images, etc., and compliment them for their efforts.
You know, in our culture, it's not even like appreciated for you to be complimenting people. But we must change that culture.
Their heart is large enough to accommodate not just humans, but nature as well.
Okay.
You have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. John Byrne.
Is that not beautiful? Is that not beautiful?
Yeah.
Let's say that again.
You have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you.
Is that not beautiful?
Very beautiful.
If you live a day without doing something for somebody that cannot repay you back, you have not lived. That is why I personally am a proponent of using your tithe and offering. Instead of giving it to the church, go and use it and find somebody who cannot repay you back. I'm a strong proponent of that. Go, that's when you live full life. Oh. Every day find it. Being happy that there are people everywhere or somewhere who are being touched just because you are alive. And it doesn't take much. Maybe it's a smile. Maybe it's a compliment. Maybe it's a good word. Maybe some shaking change. But nevertheless, you have not lived any day if you have not done something for someone who cannot repay you back. And that person must be someone who is not related to you. Go ahead.
Why second category is worse than the first category?
Remember, the first category are the people who didn't see problem. The second category are the ones who saw it, but they just think that they don't have, it's not their business.
The second category actually see the need, but they don't see the need to respond to it. Their eyes in this case become useless, redundant, and a waste. Why second category is worse than the first category? 2. When you saw a need, yet you refuse to see the need to respond, you are actually unscrupulous. When a man is unscrupulous, it means he lacks moral compass. He is not a man of justice. He is not sincere with himself.
So when you see things and you don't find arguments to respond and to do something about it, you are not just selfish, but you don't have morals. Your morals don't have compass. You don't have stability. You know, the way compass works. If you go anywhere you put compass, if you put it like this, you will point to the north. If you put it like this, you point to the north. If you put it like this, you point to the north. If you put it like this, you point to the north. Compass. You know, you have value system that make your action and your life predictable. You do the right thing at the right time. If you don't respond, you don't have moral compass. So you are moved by emotions, or you are moved by selfishness, or you are blind, or you are indifferent. You don't have what is our compass? Our compass is that I must respond the way Christ would have responded. That's my compass. So anywhere I am, where I am, I'm responding like Christ. Anywhere, whatever it happens, I'm responding like Christ. That's a compass. North. Always points to the north. Okay?
A real man in God's eyes.
So who's a real man in God's eyes? A real personality.
Will concern himself with every challenge of his community and even nation. A real man in God's eyes, if he cannot resolve the issue at hand.
No, a real man in God's eyes will concern himself
with every challenge of his community and even nation.
Now, it might not be your calling. You might not be able to respond to it, but at least you've noticed it, and then you might point that thing out to people who might be able to respond to it. You might make a noise about it or say something about it. That means you're a personality. I mean, that's what brought me to come to know Dr. Abrams. Because I'm saying this man is like me. I mean, he's responding. But I come from a country of almost 200 million people. You think I've seen any other people doing that? Because he's not just responding to, he's not, you see every minute you see a Nigerian saying something in the YouTube or Facebook. Every minute. But you know what they're all doing? They are talking religion. They are opening the Bible. But now, less are opening the Bible to talk religion. Most of them are just praying. Some prayers. But nobody is really talking about what the issues. Nobody is talking about what's happening in the country, all the problems. Nobody is addressing anything. They are either addressing God, preaching for people to just do the Bible, or they are praying to God to come and do something. Nobody is living here. Nobody is from here. Nobody is from the earth.
Some are discussing Chelsea and Manchester football.
No, I don't even come across those ones.
I've seen a lot. Christians.
They are there.
Yes.
I don't even know those ones.
They even have blocks.
Is that so?
Yes.
Okay, I've not even come across those ones yet. But the ones I see normally are the ones who are always doing one kind of prayer or the other, and they have varieties of them. All those prayers, or they are preaching message, God message, Bible, religion, or doing church. But when I saw a human being, a Nigerian, talking about issues of Nigeria and how to be better and the country better. And we have 200 million in that country. I mean, we are supposed to have at least 1 million talking about issues of the country.
Sure.
It's even difficult to see one. So because we are not real men. So who does God see as real men? As real personality? Who does God see as a human being? A human being is somebody that responds. A human being in God's eyes is not that you have 2 legs, that you qualify to be a human being. A human being is not because you have 2 eyes or you have a wife or 2 children. A human being in God's eyes, somebody that concerns himself with the challenge of his world. That's what Jesus is. Jesus is the picture, the example, the ideal of a human being. And what does he do? He responded to the needs of the earth, to the needs of the man, of man. That is the picture of an ideal man. So for you to be a man, you have to measure you by Christ's picture. So if you don't respond like him, you cannot be defined like him too. And if he is the perfect man and you are behaving like him, you are a man too. But if you are behaving the opposite, you are not related to him. You are not a human being, even though you have 2 legs. So what makes a man is not the fact that he has 2 legs or 2 eyes or something, one knows. Is that he has like a man. And how do we know the way a man is supposed to act? See the way the ideal man acted. The original man. And he responds to the need he saw. That's why he left heaven, in the comfort zone, to respond and meet the need of humanity. So my challenge to all of us, and these history makers, that's why I'm calling these history makers. These are personalities that we will become human, we will become men, according to God's definition and according to God's standard. Okay?
A real man in God's eyes, if he cannot resolve the issue at hand, he at least does something about what he sees. He would maybe set up an organization, social group, NGO to address the problem. Write an article, write a book, or start a blog.
You see why in our church here, we have over 3,000 NGOs now. Now you can see. Because people have been taught well. You don't bypass a situation or a problem. Everybody must have something that, a platform that is used to address, to change something in the world. Because we're a real man. And when I get to Nigeria, I'm going to set up, by the grace of God, 10,000 NGOs. But my goal before I die, I will help people to set up 1 million NGOs. That's 1 million problems have been addressed by different people. And it's not me. I will not have any name there, or I will not just inspire people to become human beings. Can you imagine if 1 million people, 1 million Nigerians, we have 1 million NGOs registered, addressing different situations? I will be ready to go to home.
Oh.
I'll be ready to go home.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
But the churches are supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to be doing this. The churches are supposed to be talking about this. But don't worry, we are going to revive the churches, and we are going to set up a new understanding of Christian faith.
Amen.
Okay?
How wrong is it to be indifferent? Is it wrong to be complacent? Is it wrong to live in self-satisfaction? It is rather healthy according to, oh sorry, let me take it again. How wrong is it to be indifferent? It is wrong to be complacent. It is wrong to live in self-satisfaction. It is rather healthy according to God to always respond to the issues around us. We must let the challenges in our immediate environment touch us.
We must do that intentionally. You know, so what some people do is that if their father was an alcoholic, they feel the burden for alcoholics because somebody has suffered, or they have suffered that. If they have divorced, then they feel the sense pain, they feel compassion for people who are divorced. If their child has died, they feel some pain for people. What is that? That is responding. That is not being human. Being human is to, for example, we have all these alcoholics and drug addicts that have been said. You think I never knew anybody who was drug addict or alcohol in my life. Don't wait till the tragedy happens, and then that will be stimulus. And stimulus is something that is used for animals. You have to do that. Come this way. We beat him. You have to do something. You have to inflict him. You have to. No, that is reflect. You have to do something for him to reflect. But that's not human. Humans are supposed to react and act by values, through understanding, not because something happened. Oh, reflect. Okay, for example, Benita. What was that? That's reflection. That is reaction. She's called, she came. But human beings are supposed to do things because they understand, they have understanding of it. Because they have value system that is making them to act. So they initiate action. But animals, you think, oh, you tell, oh. But, so we don't respond to life and be kind because you lost your mother. So now I understand. I also lost my mother when I was No. But because you saw that it's a need, you respond to it. You don't just respond that, okay, you need to take care of that widow because, oh, your mother also was a widow. No. Don't live by responses. Live by being a human, understanding of who you are. You are God's representative here. You reach out to the less people, not because, for anything. No, because that's who you are. That's what we need to understand in our Christian life. Some people say, oh, I give tithe. Oh, I have to do that because God will punish. No. Because you love God. You have to become somebody. A personality does things because it's informed. A personality does things because that's who he is. So, for example, we just read now that when you reach out to somebody who is lower, then you leave. We just read also that if you don't do something for somebody that cannot repay you back, then that's when you leave. So when you know those things, that has been informed. So those things become your value systems. That I live to live others. That's my value system. So it's because of it is your value system. You do it. Either they repay you, they don't repay you.
Yeah.
Either they say thank you, they didn't say thank you. Either you ever suffered that thing before or you never suffered it before. That is just who you are. I live to make others better. To make others better. That's why I respond to all the needs around. That's who my personality is.
We must let the challenges in our immediate environment affect, touch us.
So it is cultivation. You need to cultivate this nature in you. We must let it affect us. But you know what biomasses do? Biomasses don't want to let it affect them because it's creating discomfort for me. Because they are reacting to feelings. They are animals. It's going to create discomfort for me. It's not because of value, higher value that I have that. I want it to affect me so that I remain a human. I want to feel the pain of everybody who is in need. I want to remain human. The more I'm able to respond, the more I'm human. But when I desensitize myself and I cut myself, I'm no more human. But biomasses, they want to cut off themselves because they don't want to feel pain. They don't want to feel the burden. They don't want to feel discomfort. They want to just go. They are just thinking about themselves. But because I know that being human is feeling for others, is being able to lift others. I want these things to affect me. They must affect me. I want everything to affect me. I'm concerned about everything. That makes me more human. You see? So those are the things that make personalities in the kingdom of God. So we let issues affect us, touch us, push us to action.
Yes. Next. Everything should
concern us. The level of poverty in our nation should concern us. Should be our concern. That is why that's why I send the money, $500,000 US for people to make microfinance. That's what I did. I was living with a poor man when I did that. But still, I did that just so that everybody who wants to have something going for them could have something going for them. I lost it, somebody ate it, but it's okay. But I'm coming back to do it. Doesn't matter that somebody took it. I don't care about that. I must do what I need to do. It's affecting me that my people are living in poverty. I still must do what I need to do. So we must let everything affect us.
The hungry people who go to bed without a meal should concern us. The plight of
So that's what I did in Ukraine here, that nobody in this country will go to bed without a meal. And you know how much people were feeding a day? 2,000 people. Soup kitchen, 2,000 people a day. And I didn't come up with the money. I just spoke to some millionaires in the church. I said, instead of giving your tithe and offering to the church, why don't you use your tithe for that thing? So they are using their tithe for it. Not my own money. You see, when you are concerned about something, God will, you will do something, you will make some actions, and God knows how to help you if you really have concern for it. Okay?
The plight of the students who cannot finish their education because of strikes and riots should be a concern to us.
Okay, somebody is saying, but if are you for example, are you dealing with these issues? I'm not. But I have success. You know what that means? I'm not dealing with that, but I have disciples that have trained. You see, I cannot be everywhere, and I cannot solve every problem. But I have, because everything concerns me, I have raised the awareness. I talk, I am training people, so I can say, I have success who is dealing with that. I have Victor who is dealing with that. Now I have Mrs. Abiola is going to be dealing with that. I have, for example, someone says, are you going to prison? No, but I've raised disciples who are doing it. I have 200 people who are doing that. I don't know if you see the way it works.
Yeah.
You might not be able to do everything by yourself, but what about creating a system of inspiring people or raising people up who will be able to actually be the extension of that same passion that you have? So you are really doing it, even though you are not doing it physically, but you have inspired people to do it. I don't know if you get it.
Yes.
We could all live like that. Add value to others. And that way, you are actually extending yourself far beyond your imagination. Okay?
The unpaid civil servants' predicament should be our concern. Next. Isaiah 62 verse 1. For Zion's sake I will not keep silence, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not keep quiet, until her righteousness goes forth like brightness, and her salvation like a torch that is burning. Next. Category 3.
Уже время, да? Во сколько надо закончить? Час 30? Или 12:30? Okay.
Category 3. Those who notice but think things must be normal the way they are.
This is the category, the third category of people. They see things that are wrong, but you don't think this is the way they are supposed to be. Maybe this is the way they are supposed to be. I am not in charge, so I don't know. Maybe this is the way things are supposed to be. Maybe, no, I don't want to go into business that is not mine. I don't want to disrupt other people's order, okay? But we know it's an excuse, okay?
Those who notice but think things must be normal the way they are. The reason for such an attitude is the failure to develop in oneself a critical thinking mindset as a way of life.
Yeah. So even if I am not responsible, and the person responsible thinks this is not normal, but because I'm a critical thinker, I say, but this is not right. Those are the people who change the world. People who are ready to challenge the status quo. People who are not ready to fold their arms and say, well, since it's not my duty, it's not my point of duty, I cannot respond, I don't want to challenge. But people who are ready to challenge. So this demands more. Because the first one is just for you to see, the first category. You just need to help them to see. The second category, help them to be less selfish, to begin to act. But this category is to help them to be confrontational.
Yeah.
And that's where most of us don't want to go. Challenge the people who are supposed to take action and not taking action. Be ready to go into a fight. And that's why people cannot understand me. People are saying, but you are doing something wrong. I said, but do like Jesus. Everybody telling me all the time. Let the wheat and the something, whatever they say. The tar and the wheat grow together. Yes. Let the tar and the wheat grow together. What's your own problem? God will take care of it sometime. Then they have another one too they use. God will fix it. It's all about when the time comes, God knows what he's doing, God will fix it. But I said, well, who said that thing? They said, oh, it's Jesus' parable. Okay, Jesus said it? So do you mean that same Jesus who said it, and the one who picked the whip, and didn't wait for God to fix it? That same God though, that same Jesus that they are quoting. He didn't wait. That, okay, don't worry, I will just abide by that teaching. He saw a problem and responded to it. He went to fix it. And confrontational too. He didn't say, I'm going to wait for God for the end time. So even though he is the one who said that, but that's not what it meant. That just leave things to run their course and be bad. That's a different scenario. We must respond to life issues. And when necessary, we need to be confrontational.
Yeah.
But for you to be able to do that, you must start with critical, to developing critical thinking mindset. Because you must challenge yourself first, and you must challenge others. And you must have arguments that will be superior to other people's arguments, why they are not doing what they are supposed to do. You must come to challenge them and explain to them and really win them over. And that takes a bit more aggression, determination. And you need to really be determined. Okay?
Next. The result of a lazy mind.
If you don't challenge, it means you have a lazy mind. You don't have a critical mindset.
The mind of such people becomes blind and blank as a result of laziness of the mind when they try to avoid straining themselves.
Yeah, if you try to avoid straining yourself, well, you come to a place of disuse or lack of use. It's just like muscles. If I'm lying down in bed for 1 year and I never move, what do we call that? The muscles will become what? Atrophy. Atrophy. Huh? Is it atrophy or dystrophy? Dystrophy, atrophy. It's just that's just life. The same with your willpower. The same with your life effectiveness. So being challenging things and situations is the order of life. Otherwise, we become atrophic or what? Atrophy. Atrophy will set in.
Atrophy.
Atrophy. Wow. Some people know English. I'm not so good, but I speak Russian. Yes.
When people refuse to think deep and hard on issues around them, they begin to assume the society is functioning the way it is meant to function.
Okay.
Next. Lack of action is lack of thought. If we would think
everything start with that critical mind.
If we would think deep and hard about the ills and problems in our society, of countries, we would notice that there is something we can do about them. When you think, you would see the need to act. When you think, you would act.
Ooh. It goes back to the fact that we are not really thinking as hard as we are supposed to. When we think, we will see the need to act. And when we really keep on thinking, we will find what to do, we will act. Okay?
Next. All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. Edmund Burke.
All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Okay?
Category 4. Those who notice what is wrong but don't wish to incur more problems to their troubles.
That is the fourth category of people, right?
Yes. Those who notice what is wrong but don't wish to incur more problems to their troubles. This category of people want to live a quiet and peaceful life. They mainly care for the welfare of themselves, their immediate families, their beloved ones. If something does not concern them personally, they are ready to forego and bypass it. Such people risk remaining insignificant in life. Don't avoid troubles.
And everybody, some people, almost all over the world, everybody is trying to avoid troubles only. But they don't know that that is the opposite logic of life.
There is no elevation without trials. Greatness comes through troubles.
It's like it doesn't make sense, but that is actually what life is all about.
Problems are ways to success. It is because we solve problems that we have a job. If there were no problems, you would not be employed.
That's true. If you are a doctor, it's because somebody is sick. If you are a psychiatrist, that's because somebody loses their mind. Everybody is, you are relevant only because there is a problem somewhere. Okay?
If you are selling foodstuffs, it is because people are hungry. You are resolving the problem of hunger. Goliath was a huge problem for David, but then it became his elevation.
So never run away from problems and challenges. Run to them, run towards them.
As soon as you resolve a problem, you become the hero over that situation.
You see? That's why David became a hero over that problem. Because he faced it, he resolved it. Okay?
Next. Problems, troubles, challenges are your call to promotion. To say, I don't want more problems, that is like saying, I don't want more elevation. I don't want more promotion. I don't want more success. Silence is too expensive a price to pay. Next. Helping other people doesn't add to your problems. They add to your opportunities.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
When the light is switched on, it makes a brighter room. When men and women are ready to step out of their comfort zone to resolve the problems of others and the society at large, then good changes take place in any country and in any society. A person may cause evil to others not only by his actions, but by his inaction. And in either case, he is justly accountable to them for the injury.
So what is the response for the problems in Africa and Nigeria?
Inaction.
Of course. It's not just the politicians who are doing evil, but a multitude of us who are doing nothing. Yes.
Next. Most of the privileges and benefits of us, most of the privileges and benefits of our civilization are a result of people who are not afraid of adding problems to their troubles.
You see? The reason why we're enjoying everything we're enjoying today is because somebody is adding problems to his troubles. Despite their problems, they are creating more problems. They are facing more challenges. The reason why you are all here today is because I'm not sitting and saying, oh, I have lawsuits. Oh, they are persecuting me. Oh, they are accusing me falsely. Oh, they are, I cannot, if I think about that, I will not think about you. But because I'm ready to take on more challenges, add trouble to my, add problem to my trouble, that's why we have HMT today.
It's true.
Don't let your problems stop or trouble stop you from becoming a hero over other problems, over situations. Okay?
Thomas Edison, he made so much trouble on his way to making the light bulb, but today the whole world is enjoying the fruit of his labor.
Because he was not afraid to add more problems to his trouble. Everything we're enjoying today, everything is because of these kind of people. And they are the personalities, the history makers.
Benjamin Franklin, he paid a high price trying to develop himself in great virtues. So many troubles he encountered in his lifetime. So many troubles he encountered in his lifetime, but this result, he became the founding father of a nation, helped write the American Constitution and American Declaration of Independence.
So what result? What are the results he got for all the troubles? You see? It is when you face all the troubles, square on and add to it, that's when you become a personality.
Martin Luther King, he had so much troubles. He was even killed for it. Yet today, black men in America can hold their head high in the Committee of Nations. Thank God he added troubles to his problems. Martin Luther, the reformer, in spite of all the evil of the then Catholic Church, he threw himself into more problems in an effort to reform the church. Today, thanks to his willingness to look for troubles, the world is enjoying the fruit of the Protestants today. The Wright brothers, they had so much problems that many people thought they would not survive them. But today, we can all fly across continents and the Atlantic for their troubles.
Everything we are enjoying today is because people decided to have problems with their trouble. And that's how they became personalities.
Hippocrates, father of medicine. He must have gone through hell to become the father of medicine. But such trouble is worth it to leave your name in history. Abraham Lincoln. His troubles and challenges were endless. But how would you like to be regarded as the one that ended slavery? Mother Teresa, she lived, we could say, a life of sorrow and perpetual troubles. But thanks to her, millions of men, women, and children now live a life of dignity, and her name is cemented in the sand of history. Nelson Mandela.
So we all soon begin to look for trouble.
He spent 27 years in prison, most of it in solitary confinement, to become the father of the new South Africa. 27 years in prison must have been a lot of trouble, but to become a Nelson Mandela, it might just be worth it. Great individuals always respond to troubles, challenges, and difficulties with an aim to resolving them. That is exactly what Jesus did. He saw our desperate situation in sin and responded with a solution. That is what God Almighty did. He saw the earth in void and darkness and create light. For us to be men and women in God's eyes, we must begin to act like Him, respond to problems with answers. Will you be a real and sound personality?
That's our challenge today. Let's talk to God.
Jesus.
You can sit down, you can remain sitting, just talk to God. Anyhow. Let everybody individually just talk to God anyhow you wish to, anyhow you want to. I'm sure God is opening our eyes. Understanding is coming. And it's time to surrender, to throw ourselves into the arms of God and say, yeah, it's time to begin to live. To begin to leave your mark in the sand of history. To begin to live a real life of significance, life of relevance. It's time to come alive. It's time to begin to live. It's time to begin to make a difference. Are you going to be an Abel, a Cain, or a Seth? A problem, a solution, or a victim? And let's begin to ask for God to give us the wisdom to build systems. There have been other HMTs that have spoken about building systems. So this time we are not going to be talking about building systems, but you can go back and watch those HMTs on how to build systems, build organizations to really help you enhance your decision to serve God. Father, we thank you. We give you praise for today. Our eyes are opening little by little. And help us to make this word become flesh in us. So that this word doesn't just remain a message, but it becomes part of us. It becomes our nature. That we will change, we will be transformed here, and we'll go to transform our world to your own image and to your glory. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I think there is a song there. You have a song? Okay, give us a song.
If you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. If you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. Touch my hands, Lord, and my feet. Touch my heart, Lord, speak through me. If you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. Use me. Everybody say, use me. Use me. America, use me. To Ireland, use me. In Ukraine, use me. In the UK, use me. In Canada, use me. In America, use me. In Holland, use me.
Father, we thank you so much for this opportunity and for this privilege to be changed into your image, not to people's expectations, not to our environment, mindset, and worldview, but we want to live from the higher ground, from your worldview. We want to live from your perspective and begin to live our lives from the viewpoint of heaven. And we want to be like him, like the ideal man that has ever been, like Christ. We want to respond to life like him. We want to conduct ourselves on the earth like he will conduct himself in our place. We got an idea today, and we are going to pursue it. And the world will be a better place, to the glory of your name. In Jesus' name. Okay, now what we're going to do, all of you, as many as we can make it before we go, we have to come out and tell us your own lessons, what you think you got, or what you think God quickened you about, or ministered to you about, or what you plan to do. Yeah, just one way or the other. You want to make it practical. Or maybe questions. Okay, who starts? If you don't come to start on time, volunteer, you have to stand the whole period of time.
Praise the Lord. I want to say that I've learned a lot, and what I've learned today is going to help me, because I already have a project, an NGO at home that is called Help for Africa, and to help the widows and the orphans. So it has given me more insight, and I'm going to use this training to expand on the program, because my heart is for Africa, particularly my country, because that has been my desire right from when I came to Europe newly, and that drove me to seeking knowledge, and God got me connected with Pastor Sunday, and I'm going to, so that is my dream, and it is my desire that in my lifetime I will contribute to developing my country and my continent. And I have started, and I'm going to intensify from what I'm learning. You know, I normally say this, I've been in Europe for some years. My friends that even came after me, they've built houses, they've done a lot of things back home. But I decided that I will never build a house, I will never buy a land until I touch the lives of people. And I've not done it till today.
And I will tell you that you are not alone.
Yes.
I have not built any house in Africa.
Yes.
I've not bought any land. You know, I did some investment, but I don't even know what has happened to it. But I've not bought any land, I've not built any house. But when I go, I'm going to build cities, nation. That's bigger than building something for yourself.
So people normally ask me, you know, you have been in Europe for all these years, you don't have a house, you don't have a land. So how will you do if you come home? I said, I feel I'm not comfortable the way people are living, the level of poverty, and I will come and buy land and build a house just to come with my family. How long am I going to stay? That I would not do it. And people have been, you know, so if you come home with your family, I said I would even stay in a hotel or stay with my people, with relatives. I would not do that. I want to touch the lives of people first. And that is my passion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one. Yeah. Before you start.
I can't stand for too long, so I might as well come. Anyway, what I want to say is this. I've had a passion for the orphans from time. In fact, I used to fight people when I see them treating people the way I don't like. You might not be orphan, but anybody who is younger than you and you treat them anyhow, I just get pissed off and sorry for the word, you know. But I came to HMT last year, like I said. I wasn't serious because I just wanted to make sure that this man here is the man that I knew, you know, so I wasn't paying attention. But this time I came purposely to be a history maker. Now, there are things I observed from the slides that I think it's me, you know, that tells me who I am. I've always said, oh, I don't know who I am, I don't know who I am. But now I know that those things I was running away from because I didn't know how to implement them. From yesterday, I think 2 people spoke about what they've started. I said to myself, aha, bingo, that's it, I caught it. Now, it's not about me building mansion or building anything. I can start somewhere. So that has given me, you know, an idea what to do and what to start. And I tell you something, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, you know, on air, but I said to you that my husband went to Nigeria for a different reason, but that going now is going to benefit me based on what I've learned now. So it might not be him doing the job, but God is going to use me through him because he's there and whoever he's connected with, that's going to make things happen. That's the way I say it, for good. That's the way I say it. And thank you so much for the lesson because I thought I was a personality, not until now I found out. Well, I'm still a personality, it's just individual personality. Thank you so much.
What's wrong with you? You have spine problem?
Yes.
Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, we agree with Shinwe right now for our spine, that pain will subside, it will go. In Jesus' name, we establish health, healing, strength, total restoration. In Jesus' name. Amen. It is well.
We normally sing, God will lift you up higher. We say, God is too heavy that a man can lift. But today I know what it means now. When you lift that feeble hand, you have lifted up God. Wow. I got that message today. Thank you very much.
What do you think that would do for our country if everybody or every church would get that revelation?
We will change our recipe because we are not lifting God by singing.
We will change what?
Our culture.
Our culture?
Our way of understanding.
Okay.
Our doing.
What about our country?
Oh my God. When our culture, our reasonings are changed, the country has no excuse but to be transformed.
No, because right now we think that we are lifting God up higher by singing, by going to church every Sunday. But God is in people. We are not lifting people up.
And they are down on the floor.
They are on the floor, but we are singing and dancing. In fact, by the moves, we think we are lifting God. But we are not even touching God at all. We are not even going close to him.
We're only doing gym. They're only doing gym, jumpology.
Some people are taking money to church, thinking they are lifting God, but they are passing by God. Yeah. You lift God up when you lift people. Yeah. But when you put people down, you put God down.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for this lecture. Actually, I have a passion for orphans. And again, when I came here yesterday, I'm considering how to create social church. My question now, and what is really, really bothering me, is how can we eradicate all these big men of God from ignoring people?
I will maybe re-educate them. Maybe re-educate the men of God. Re-educate?
And not only men of God,
Christians too.
Christians and some leaders. Because I actually don't really like it when we ignore. When we don't appreciate people.
I think it has to do with what we are doing now. Enlightenment. We keep on talking, and everybody must talk. It shouldn't just be Pastor Sunday talking. All of us must begin to talk. Maybe it will get to them one little by little. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. For me, obviously, as you all know, I'm a psychiatrist, and in
louder.
Yeah, I'm a psychiatrist, and my work brings me into contact with people whose lives have been damaged badly by illness, and it's very heartening to see how, through your ministry, Pastor, lives are being transformed. And a few years back, when I finished my training, I was just working like everybody, going to the clinic, sitting down,
getting salary.
Yes, listening to the stories, prescribing medication just like any doctor would do. One day, I was lying in bed and the Lord just started speaking to me. He said, "What are you doing?" And he said, he took me back to my clinic. So it was like I was seeing myself in my clinic. And I was watching myself, all my actions, from the beginning when a patient walks in, up to the point when they walk out. And said, "What are you doing?" And what I was doing was what all my colleagues would do. So you listen attentively to people's problems, you take notes, and then afterwards you make a formulation, you diagnose, and then you treat. And then God said, "I want you to put that pen down. I want you to stop writing. I want you to listen." I said, "God, what? I forget some of the things that they say to me." I said, "No, just you have to do it that way." So I decided to do it that way. And the first person that this happened with, I was sitting there listening to the person. Then after a while, I heard God started to speak to me whilst the person was talking. So I was listening with my ears, and in my heart, I was hearing God speak to me, and God was speaking to me about the person. And then God said, "This is what the problem is." So after a while, I stopped there. I said, "You know what? I'm going to tell you something. If I'm wrong, please correct me." And then I told them what I thought the problem was. She was shocked. And she just couldn't believe that that was possible. That just opened her up to then come out and be honest about what the problems really were. That really made an indelible mark on me. So from that, I took cue from that and then decided to start doing that with everybody. The next person that walked in with a partner. And when they came in, this chap was so angry. He picked up my prescription pad and hit the desk with it and told me that there's nothing in this pad that you can prescribe that will make me better. And I said, "Okay, that's a good start." In the usual mode of doing things, I probably would be thinking of how to end this interview calmly and just go on to my next one. But because I'd learned that you have to start doing things differently, I decided to try and find out what was going on. That leads me to the third point, you know, the categories of people, the third one. And you said what needs to change is you need to be confrontational. You need to be assertive. You need to get in there, because if you want to be a history maker, you can't be passive. So I said, "You look very angry to me." And I could see confirmation from the partner. So I started talking. And when you step out, the Lord will step in.
Amen.
I put myself out there, started talking by faith what I believed was happening to this man. And the wife said, "You spoke to him like you knew him from birth." I just ministered according to what was in my heart. I wasn't expecting to see them again for about a month. But by mistake, they were booked into my clinic a week later. I don't like seeing people too frequently, because often if it's a short period, nothing much would have happened. So you need a period of time for things to happen. But I saw them, and they walked into my clinic, "Hello!" And they were even calling me by my first name, which is very unusual in a professional setting. They sat down, I said, "What's happening?" They said, "You know what? We left and we talked for 3 days. continuously. And then she said, you know what, when we saw you, we were this close to divorce. So that opened my eyes that there are people out there suffering, and that if I just do things the way it is always done by everyone, I'm not going to be able to change anybody. So that then started to, so listening to your sermons, Pastor, it's really blessed me because, I wrote in the email to you that God showed me some time ago that you don't have to lay hands on people to cast out demons from them. That you don't even have to mention Jesus' name to cast out demons from them. Because in the UK, by law, you can't do any of those things, those religiosities. You have to find a way to take the message of Christ to people in a way that they can relate to. And so for me, finding your message has just been such a blessing because it suddenly opened an avenue for me. And my question is, if I could find a system to be able to minister to a wider group of people, because the need out there is tremendous.
Okay, first of all, what that would mean is you have to you already identify your area. So your area is depressed people, psychiatric people. So, but then the next point is you have to reach out to them because so many people so many people don't know that you exist even. So relationship, life is about a few things. One of those things is relationship. Now, why we need relationship is not just because we are related to people, we are friends with people, but because we have something that we can give to the world and that we can offer to the world. So that's why we need relationship. So there are three people we must build relationship with. Number one, the people that we need to look for to get something from or to learn from, or to emulate, to keep us going. Then the next people that we need to build relationship with are the people that, that will already know us, that's what you're already doing. But the next people that you need to look for are the people that you have something that they need, you can help, but they don't even know you exist. They don't even know you are there. They don't even know you can help them. Talk less of you can help them. So that's why advertisement is necessary. That's why the need for advertisement and for promotion and for publicity. Now, in Christian circles, people say, don't let your right hand know what your left. Not in this case. In this case is where Jesus said, let your light so shine to the world that they will see your good works and worship and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So this is that kind of station. So light must shine. That is the publicity. You must go out there and find avenues and ways to make noise and let people know that I can offer this service. I have this that can help people. So any one of you who might be in need of this, get me. So that's why we need to go on TV and do an interview. You need to go write articles, put advertisements out there. Put publicity out there, let people know that I'm here. Now, the terms of the service might be different. You might want to do for pay as an, or free, or as an outreach. That is now another deal. Just a short time there. Okay. Are you sure you want to come out? But I'm happy that you are here. At this time, today is the anniversary of the homegoing of the husband, and I think it's a great thing that you are here because you have life. You are brewing life. Life is being given birth to you. You are in an environment of birthing forth, and you are birthing for the future.
Amen.
You are birthing forth, destiny. You are shaping. Something is happening in your spirit as well, in your mind. And you know how to shout forward, move forward, how to live life, better life, more impactful life. So death is giving back to life. A seed of, what do I say? If it doesn't fall to the ground and die, it will not, So it is a time of that multiplication. And so it's not a time of sorrow, it's a time of joy.
Thank you. I don't know about any other person, but one thing I know is that I'm overwhelmed. And being with Pastor Sunday, it's like I can't take in all he's giving at once. And it's like every time he speaks, it's like I'm getting new revelation. And I don't think there's any other place that I would want to be today than this. And I just believe that, like I said yesterday, that I am loved by God. This is a gift for me, and I appreciate it.
And it's true because, you know, not the whole world even knows that this is going on now. A lot of people are not even aware we're here. They don't even know this place exists. So for you to know, that is already a sign of God's love. Then some people know, but they have been misinformed by Google. So they cannot even be here. Then some other people might know who want to even be here, but they don't have papers, they don't have documents, they cannot. A lot of things happen.
Yeah. So, serving a God of compassion, I think what I got from this message of today is that I want to show compassion to hopeless and helpless people, and that's where I want my focus to be. You know, learning all these new things. And I'm just going to be selfless, use everything in me. I've worked to accumulate some things, and I think those things, I'm just going to give it back to God in helping, reaching out to people.
Beautiful. Before you go far, I also want to commend your style. I don't know if you have a name for it or not. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, yesterday made me 3 weeks in Ukraine. And like these past 3 weeks have been one of the most difficult, weeks I've experienced in my life, because I've been so preoccupied with my personal issues. It's like 3 months for me. I even wanted to even say 3 months. So I came here for master's studies, and arriving here, like when I reached my hostel, like it was so cold, and the kind of force I came with was to make sure I recover most of the lost time I spent in Nigeria, because I finished my diploma in June, and I went to Nigeria because I have to make sure I follow protocols, the embassy. So when I got home, I discovered that indeed the system is very, very strong, whereby I can't just, like, I don't know how to even go about it. So when I arrived here, I said, let me make sure I do something within myself to equip myself very well, so that I'll be able to make impact in my society, because I grew up in a polygamous home, and what I suffered there made me to have passion to build family. Like my community, young children has been impregnating themselves, and you know, everything just started, and I began to think, what's the problem? And because I know that one of the ways to solve the problem is to know the source of the problem. So when I tried to look into it, I discovered that it is lack of fathers, you know, in the communities. And this is what I've been bringing all manner of children, you know, in the community. So I feel so bad. I always talk about it with my friends. I always complain about it, and I have this desire that I will teach people concerning this field. So I've been studying and equipping myself in this area. So when I came here, you know, the teaching is like trying to make me to be more strong, to go on with the vision I'm having in my mind, to push on, to study more, to get more information, and also, you know, to have a particular, you know, way that I'm able to like communicate this issues to the families, and that is one of the things. So I am so happy to be here because now, like, there are so many issues in my hostel. Like, people are, behaving the way it's not supposed to be done, like noise every time, playing music. And although I have plans for them too, but I've been having this feeling of like being myself. But I've laid a particular platform whereby I live a kind of lifestyle that when I'm talking, they will listen to me. That is one of the things I've been doing so far. But like the boldness to come out and talk to them has been the challenge. But now with this program, at least I have the boldness and more, like in a more strategic way on how to like go about them and to bring them to Christ. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I really thank God for today's teaching. One of the things that I learned today is that I feel that I needed to implement in my life is to become more confrontational, in the sense that I'm in a ministry where they have a lot of doctrines where, to me, the women are put under, where women have to cover their hair and women cannot become pastors. They can only stay at the level of evangelists. And I've always had problem with that, but I would never say anything. I would always have my group where I speak to them about that's wrong, but I will never challenge the status. So that's what I really got from today's teaching, that I need to speak up. I need to do videos. I need to, even though God has spoken to me to speak. Sorry. Sorry?
The consequence might be they might kick you out, no?
Well, I believe that I've said what I need to say, and I move on to what I believe God is leading me to.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you for that.
So you will not let the fear hold you back?
Not let the fear hold me back, and just step out and just do it.
With the teachings today, I really, what moved me and touched me is the importance to be a real man as per God's will and His principles, and live by them, right? In everything we do with integrity. Last week I was in Mexico City, and I went there to talk to different people about, HMT and other stuff that I have to talk about, to teach them these principles in other stuff as well, in the finance areas and that kind of stuff. So, and some of these people were talking to and asking, because I am Mexican, so they were asking me how I see the country from outside. And I gave my answer, very honest answer. I said, well, I see a great country. And they started complaining about that and questioning me. What do you mean by that? Because we have a lot of corruption. Safety is a very important issue. People are not doing anything. Politicians are very corrupt, and so on and so on and so on. Right? I say, well, that's what I'm saying. It's a very great position in the country, because there are a lot of troubles and there are a lot of solutions, and we are going to start the revolution, bringing those things. Right? So, with these teachings, really, what I feel is more encouraged, to be more focused on and more committed to do what God is asking and calling me to do. So I have all these countries, because as I said yesterday, when you talk about Nigeria, I see a lot of countries. Latin America, for instance, is one of those big areas who are in trouble, who need a lot of things. And I started talking to them, why you don't see the solution through God? Why do you see the solutions through politicians if they don't work for you? So, but God is bringing the solution for everybody. But they started telling me that I was crazy, because they don't see, they take God separate from everything else. That's a problem. That's a problem. So this is very encouraging. Thank you.
Pastor, the way of life in my life is I cannot get to a place and leave the place the same. something has to change. So I get to a party and it's all cold and dry and drabby. No. I have to fire it up. I've got to fire it up. So this is the way I do in every area of my life. But from your teaching today, I know what I got out of this is I am performing way, way below my potential. It's like I'm operating under a glass ceiling, as if something is glass there and not letting me penetrate where I need to be. So I need to break the ceiling and go to where I need to be. I know I have greater, God has put greater, but I am not able to break through to that place where I need to be. Thank you.
Pastor Sunday, I have to say something. I'm even feeling sorry. I came here because I was confused with a lot of things in my life. Where were you 7 years ago when I graduated from university? I had the wrong counsel, the wrong people surrounding my life. I got married 3 years ago. It's good, but I wasn't fulfilled in my life, in my calling.
Because it's supposed to be the opposite. You first of all have to get into your calling before you get into marriage. But because we come from Africa, sometimes we don't know that. You have to get to the place of fulfilling your calling before you think of marriage or children, because those other things now stand on your way and become a distraction to you and a roadblock.
This August, I turned 33, and I tell my husband, Jesus died at 33.
Wow.
It was the end of his mission on earth.
And I've not even started.
Where am I in this picture? I have so much potential. I'm diverse in so many industries. God has given me this ability to master things in a short space of time. You can find me in the media. You can find me in the entrepreneurship. You can find me in charity works. God has given me so much grace in that aspect. But coming here and learning today, I have learned that I didn't really know myself. We call ourselves personalities, but actually we don't really know what that means. What is a personality?
God have mercy.
What is a personality? Churches have destroyed our lives.
God have mercy.
They have destroyed our lives. The pastors out there have destroyed our destiny, our future. And today I stand here by the grace of God, and I know God is going to repair the years. It is very painful. I was sitting there, like my brother said, that he was quiet for 2 days. I was observing. I say, God, you've sent me here for a purpose. I have lost so many times, so many years of my life just beating around the bush, just doing things surface, like my sister said, like you want to do something, but it's like you can't really break through, like something is just like blocking you not to go beyond. And today my eyes were open when we saw the slides, Barack Obama, Mother Teresa. I'm like, these are the people that we're talking about, personalities, history makers. So what are we created to do? So I've understood again today that all of us here are going to experience the best of our days. And that's what I got from your life, Pastor Sunday. You're not just a pastor. You're actually sent to us to take us out of the religiosity of the system that the churches have put us into for years. Paying tithes and offerings, doing service for pastor, singing in the choir, sweeping in the floor for the church, laying the tables. That's all we've been fed for years.
Can you believe it?
That's what we've been fed for years, and that's why we are not able to be in our calling, to be purposeful in life, because we have been entangled with these things that we've been taught in the church. And today is an eye-opening for all of us, especially for my life. I know when I'm going back to the UK, my husband will see a different person. I am not going to settle. I'm not going to settle for anything just like that. I'm going to aim for what God has called me to do on this earth.
Hallelujah. You said something, Benita, which is so insulting and so annoying, that in churches, they keep you to come and sing. And they tell you that is your destiny. You are just to sing. You are a woman, you are just to sing. You have a microphone. You should even be happy. You should even be happy. You should even be thankful that they give you the microphone to sing. Then they tell you, they make you think that's what you are. That's what you are good enough for. That's your calling. And now she is saying, I don't know they had that. Sweep the floor. And some people call that calling, ministry.
Yes. Serving. Giving pastor water.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm up there. Opening doors.
Arranging chairs.
No, so come again. Sweeping. What people have been reduced to. Image of God. These are image of God, right? Deliverers, saviors for whole spheres of life. They have been reduced to what they call sweeping.
Sweeping floors.
Yes. And that is their ministry, just to come and sweep. Instead of saving and delivering nations.
Bringing water
for who?
Pastor,
and snacks.
Yes.
I didn't even know that. What is that? That's ministry?
Opening doors.
What do you mean opening doors? In church?
You open the door for the pastor, you get the Bible.
And that's their ministry.
Yeah.
Keep on.
Yeah, you decide when people see. Yeah. Security, bodyguard for the pastor. Yeah. Meet and greeter. Yeah, meet and greeter.
This is slavery system.
Yeah.
So it means that.
They call you armor bearer.
It means that. So these churches have created a whole system of slavery where human beings. But did you hear what I was telling him, that I'm not better than him?
You don't hear that in regular churches. Never. You are below the pastor.
I can't talk to you. Yeah. I can't. It's impossible. I can't see Bishop Oyedepo face to face like I'm seeing you and say, "How are you, Pastor?" You can't do that. Who are you? Who you dare?
Even they said the pastors
Who are you? Who are you?
Not just you, who is an ordinary human being.
Yes.
But even
pastors. There is stratas and hierarchies of position.
But what I am here for, though, as a pastor, any pastor, or as a Jew or anything, is to make you and even higher, so that you might be able, I'm supposed to come under you, lift you up, and get you to that place where you'll be able to talk like her now. That now I have compassion, that's my ministry now, to go and extend that, not sit down with me in church and be pouring water for me. That's an insult. That I would do that to a human being. When I put a human being down like that to be pouring water to me and to be doing Elasa. That way, I put God down. When I make you just to come to be in church, to be greeters and doing that, I limit God.
They say if you don't serve in another man's vineyard, you will not be qualified to get your own.
There's a truth in that, but you can't manipulate that. Serving, because the Bible also said, for you to be the greatest or the first, you must become the slave. So they are the one to be serving you even the more. I am the one to be serving you, like I'm doing now. I'm the one to be serving you, so that you will become who you're supposed to become. Then you serve me back, because you are grateful, out of a grateful heart. But while you are fulfilling your own thing as well. I'm sorry.
Right. I just want to, express my gratitude of being here, the opportunity to be here because I never even, understand that one human being can do a lot of things like DSA is doing. I could not imagine it. To me, it's impossible. I keep asking, how can one human being have a lot of what you have inside of you? So that is possible. And I said to myself,
I think you are right too, because people sometimes also say you can only have one calling.
Yeah.
That you can only be gifted in one thing, or you can only pick one thing.
And
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and I know that myself, I have great ideas. I come up with concepts, solving problems for people. A lot of my friends call me for advice all the time, but it's actually a great quality for me to have, and I'm not exploring it. And again, I coming here today and what I'm learning, I've held myself down through procrastination. There's so much that I could be doing, or I could have done all these years. I was praying before I came. I said, Lord, I know that I've wasted time and all that you've put inside of me. And if you can just give me 10, 20 more years or less, that even 1 year, 2 years, that I could use it to achieve so much. And most importantly,
So it was good I used you yesterday as the example.
Yes, it was. And I was talking to Professor yesterday on our way to the alcoholic center, and rehabilitation center, and I shared an idea. And we're already working on it. So I am not going to sit back anymore. And I want to encourage all of us. We're from Africans and from other parts of the world. However, I think we're in more trouble, especially in Africa, than any other part of the world. And our people sit down and say here in UK, most importantly, my friends don't want to go home. And I keep telling them, look, Nigeria is one of the greatest countries in the world. If we can change it, it's people that make histories. We can do this. And I told you that I'm going home to start preparing. I don't have the money, I don't have the funds, but I know that I'm going next year. And whatever it takes, whichever way I could start small, I will start doing it. And from what I've learned today, I've woken up. Thank you so much. God bless you. Anyone else? Who has not spoken? Okay. Oh, have you? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Actually, today was really great. I see the potential in me that I never saw before, and I had hope. And I believe that I'm on track to becoming a personality. That's what I believe. But the key takeaway for me that I'm going to act on, I have the ability to notice problems in the community, and I have seen noticed a lot of problems, but it's quite overwhelming because you alone cannot just solve it. But what I learned today is that I can train others to solve those problems. So that is the key decision that I've decided that this is what I'm going to do. Since I have a platform that has given me influence in the community, I will be able to train other young people to start taking up those challenges, so I don't have to be the one to solve the problem. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say that it's one thing for me anyways, it's one thing to listen to DSA online, and it's another to come and actually see it for yourself. It's when I was sitting there and I was listening to you, even yesterday, I just couldn't stop. Like, my heart just became really heavy because Thank you. For the first time, it's like someone was really speaking to my spirit. And someone was, it's like he's looking into my soul. And it's like he sees what's going on. I can't explain it. And just listening to like the message today, I'm sorry. These things, but you don't believe that they're real. You don't see that they're real. We talk about like love, and we talk about having a personal relationship with God. Let me tell you something. I don't even understand what that is. I don't understand what that means. Yet, I have a man who took me in as a nobody, as literally no one. He took me in and he made me his own. And he loves me so unconditionally. And he doesn't expect me to be anything. And even that, just to understand God, I just don't understand it. What more of God? Like going to the rehabilitation center yesterday, just seeing that, it's just... It's so overwhelming. I said, it's like he's looking into my soul. I mean it. It's like he sees everything. Like, I just don't understand. Like, it's like he sees the things that has been... I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be honest and say what is in my heart. I've been really challenged by today's message, and I'm going to go knowing that
you have to be real to the end.
Yes.
He's saying something that is like he's saying some of those things that then you
Sorry, I've wondered. Like I'm already ahead. Sorry. Okay.
The thing is, a lot of people are also seeing us right now on Facebook, and you are telling them and telling all of us that it's totally different. It's a different ballgame.
It is a different experience.
A lot of people are actually seeing, but the thing, they are experiencing the same thing as you are experiencing. But you are telling them now it's not. Because you used to sit down there too.
I used
to hear.
Yeah.
And you are feeling totally different.
Yes.
So, you need to continue on that.
Okay. Being here, you just understand so much of God's love. Something that I thought, I don't know, I understood before, or at least I thought I had a little bit of understanding. But being here, just seeing how DSA lives his life and how he communicates with people. Today he said that when you look down on people, you look down to God. Like, you never look at it I've never looked at it in that way. And yet, every day I'm passing someone who has a particular need. And sorry, I'm just really overwhelmed.
Beautiful. And I don't think that we should be in a situation whereby you think that you cannot cry, or you cannot express yourself, or you have to control yourself, or you have to, people might not understand. Just be yourself.
But I've lived that way.
No, scream if you want to scream, run if you want to run. Just be yourself. Don't be controlled. Say what you need to say. Cry if you want to cry. We just want to love on you and be in your father's house. Be in your father's house. Sit on your father's lap and just enjoy it. Be human, for Christ's sake, and enjoy Father's presence, your dad's presence, your Father God's presence, and let the fragrance of this love, let the fragrance of this touch, let the gentleness and the softness of this environment, of this ambience, let this ambience just massage you and heal you and minister to your feelings and your emotions and your broken soul and your feelings and your depth and the wounds of the past and everything. Just just allow yourself to be weak and to relax and to receive and to be blessed and to be ministered to and to be touched and let God be manifested to you through everybody, through somebody's smile, through somebody's look, through somebody's dress, through somebody's hairstyle, through somebody's touch, through somebody's eating, through somebody's weeping, through somebody's crying, through somebody's fragrance, perfume, just through the peace coming in, through the breeze, through the ears, through the warmth, through the through the lightning and through the sound, through the singing. Just enjoy it and sleep. Even in the class, if you feel like sleeping, just switch off, sleep, relax, come back, join us, keep on going. Be at home.
That is freedom. We talk about just the church, but for me, I think it's been more about the society. I didn't grow up in the church that I went to didn't really practice these, practices that we're talking about, but just accepting how the society allows me to live my life, even though I knew that somewhere deep within me that was not it, but allowing it and accepting it has done more damage, because it has not allowed myself to see the things that I now at least understand that they're God's gift. I've always seen them as a weakness. Wow. I've always seen it as a weakness. Just to cry. I'm a crier. I cry all the time. Even mommy knows this. But I've never really shared that with anyone, because everyone will be like, why are you so weak? Why what's wrong with you? Like, man up, even though you're not a man, but they expect you to act a certain way and behave a certain way and do things in a certain way. And coming here just to see everyone just so free, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen it. It doesn't exist. Where I come from, we're told how to behave, how to sit, don't speak back, don't do this, don't do that. So I know that I've got to go and do a lot of work on myself, and
and that's why we're here. And that's why it's history makers. is to change us. And you know, but one thing I would not like you people to lose focus on is that the nature of God is what we are all after. And God's heart, God's nature, God's mind, God's ideas. What can best express that than a soft heart and a crying heart? Because blessed are those who mourn. If you can develop that and package that into compassion, into empathy, into sympathy, into touching people with God's love. Our whole world is in need of this healing, this touch of healing, this touch of compassion, this touch of empathy, this touch of gentleness, this touch of understanding. And it's a gift that you must be packaged. You just need to package it. Everybody needs a touch. Everybody needs to be understood. Everybody is in need of understanding. My. That's the nature of God. But the world is so indifferent. How the whole world needs that. Because the problem is that we are living in a world that is built by Darwin philosophy, the survival of the fittest. That's why they will look down on this kind of gift and think you are, strange, because you need to be, it's a man's world. The survival of the fittest. You need to be strong, and we don't understand that there is a grace and a blessing in people just being weak, and so that we'll see another side of life. Just like life would not always be white. Sometimes we need black to be able to contrast and be able to appreciate white. Strength will never be appreciated without weakness. And without weakness, there is no strength. I'm going to talk.
So I'm from Holland, and Holland is, I guess, one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Yeah. There is no lack. You can have anything you want in that country. So when people say they're poor, they have like 5,000 euros in the bank, and they get from the government at least 1,500 to 2,000 euros. And then people say they are poor in my country. So as to material things, we don't have a lack. But I've spoken to so many young people, and as you all know, I want to reach the youth with the message of the kingdom. They're poor from the inside. So what I've learned today is that I have to be in the set mindset, in the set generation. I have to be the solution to those people. I have to go to the places. I have to go to the places where those people are, those young people who are so damaged from the inside, who are so depressive. So maybe I have to contact some psychiatrist. Maybe I have to go to coffee shops, and a coffee shop in our country is not a place to drink coffee. It's a place where people go and buy weed and marijuana and those things. That's a coffee shop in Holland. I have to go to prisons. I have to go to places where those young people are who are so hurting from the inside, and I have to be the solution. I've learned that they're not looking for me. They're not looking for the church. In our church or churches in Holland, we're not focused on young people, and we're not focused on being a solution to problems. We're focused on worshiping and, as you guys said, being religious. And that's why so many young people don't want to come to church. So I'm going to commit myself to at least reach 10,000 young people and change the whole nation. So you guys,
Beautiful. Well, when is the next session starting with? Is it Dr. Abrams?
Yes, that will be at 2:30.
2:30, 1 hour's time.
Yes.
So now we have lunch.
Yes.
So we want to say bye-bye to everybody.
Yes.
And we are going to broadcast. Can we broadcast this session too? Yes. Okay, so the whole world, everybody watching us on Facebook, Dr. Abrams is going to be speaking in the next 1 hour. So get ready, all of us. We have, we have a break right now. We are going to take some break, and we are inviting all of you back. Get ready. 1 hour's time, we're going to be back. And when you are going to break, maximize your time. Don't just talk and be frivolous. Read your books, calculate it, do your assignments, do what you need to do so that you maximize your time. All right? See you.